We have 6 lovely ladies on the panel today. We talking dating and relationships, and we got Pastor Andy here. Let's go. You could understand out the door. All right, ladies and gents, we are back. So we are currently live on Facebook and YouTube right now. Is the audio good in your headphones, Stan? Audio is good. So currently, we just finished up a fire podcast with Pastor Andy. Man, we was talking everything from the Trinity, from what else? Everything.
All kinds of stuff.
All kinds of stuff. Go check it out. After you watch this live stream, go check out the one-on-one I did with Andy. It was fire. Good conversation. And you're going to have me on your podcast too, right?
Part 1. It was just part 1.
This was just part 1, so we're going to do a part 2 for sure. Everybody that's tuned in right now, click the like notification so this gets pushed into the algorithm. Don't be a ninja watcher. Also, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the YouTube channel and click the bell icon so you're notified when we go live again. We have 4 links in the description. No, 5 links in the description. We got a good one for y'all. So first link in the description is to join the membership. We got 3 tiers. If you support this podcast and you want to continue to see it grow, I don't need the money. So anything that you send in and you join a member, we're going to buy some more cameras. We're going to invest into the studio to give y'all better production. So join the membership. We got 3 tiers. First tier is gang. Second tier is hitman. Third tier is mob ties. If you join mob ties, you're invited to the cookout. You know what it is. The second link in the description is for one-on-one coaching. I do marketing and media coaching. I do dating and relationships, couples coaching, and I coach guys on masculinity. So if you need any help in any of those fields, click the second link. The third link is to join the Discord. So if that's free, you want to join a Discord, you want to be updated when we go to Miami, who's going to be featuring on a podcast, what celebrities we're going to have on, because we are going to have some top celebrities, some NBA players, that's a lot of things going on in Miami. And we're going out there on the 27th, and we're going to be out there until like a whole week doing 3 shows out there. So join the Discord, and we'll keep you up to date on everything new coming with no Fugazee. What link we on? The 5th link. No, the 4th link is the Clips channel. Go to the Clips channel and subscribe to the Clips channel. People been trying to take our clips and use our stuff, which is fine. We want to compete too. So we're going to make clips of our own stuff. So subscribe to the Clips channel. You'll see the Dragon Ball Z icon that Steve made. Shout out to Steve. And it's pretty much me as Goku, as a Super Saiyan. So join the Clips channel. We also have, which is new. So the 5th link. Hey, actually, Steve, is it the 5th one or is it the top? Who knows, but you'll see it in there.
It's actually not even in here. Did you not throw it in?
Nah, I thought you threw it in. Come on, bro. You're supposed to throw it in. It's okay. The link is where it's at. It's in the
Go to
the main page.
the main page here.
The link is on the main page, and it's the link to the merch. It just dropped. Check out the merch. Merch gang. Look at the back though. Yeah. God over man, man over woman, woman over children. So the merch just dropped. Everyone that wants to support the podcast and buy and it fits nice. It's that tight fit on the arms. So if you skinny, you're gonna look right. If you thicker, you still gonna look right. It's gonna make your arms look big. So purchase the t-shirts, man. Support the podcast. The merch just dropped. We lit right now. And that's we're gonna put it in the description. Actually, Steve, throw it up in
the chat.
Yeah, throw it up in the chat. So the link is gonna be in the chat. Steve is modding the chat, so you're gonna see that in there too. Other than that, without further ado, let's get into the ladies introducing themselves. Let's start. This couch looks suspect. Let's go over here. Let's go with starting with you. Welcome back. Name, age, and where you from?
What's up? It's your girl Kim. I'm 29. I'm from Jersey.
Kim, 29 from Jersey. Let me move your mic down a little bit. No, you're fine. Got it, man. Hi. Make that little minor adjustment. All right, Kim, you said you 25?
29.
29. Oh, Dan, I tried to take some years off you.
Thank you, though.
Fair enough. 29. And what do you do for a living?
I'm a media coordinator.
Media coordinator.
Yes.
Okay, explain. That's a little, did you say that before when
I
you was
did.
on? What kind of media you coordinate?
So I run the social media platform for Lincoln Tech. And I also help out doing it for Powerhouse Gym. And then I do it for myself. And I have a line of resistor bands.
Okay. Word. That's dope. And relationship status.
Single.
Single. How long you been single for?
2 years.
2 years. We went over this before. You broke up with him, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fun fact about yourself.
Fun fact about myself is I'm a gym rat and I'm learning to DJ with Thorough Entertainment.
Wow.
Gym rat, and you're learning DJ. Okay. Good for you. Moving right along. Name, age, and where you from?
My name is Kathy. I'm 35, and well, I will be 35. And I'm from Emmaus, Pennsylvania. Yeah.
35
Yeah.
from Emmaus, Pennsylvania. Okay, cool. What do you do for a living?
Personal trainer.
Personal trainer? You want to show the guns? Want to lift up?
No,
You want to show the? Yo, she.
do not do that.
I'll save that for later.
Yeah.
All right. So, relationship status.
I am not single.
You are not single. You're in a relationship.
Yes, I am.
How long?
Well, we're good. 3 weeks.
Oh, it's brand.
Yeah, brand new. Yes, no. Look it. Stop it.
Okay, let's decipher
Excuse
this. So you said you were in a relationship for
Yes.
3 weeks. Have you been? Did you start the relationship like when y'all had sex, or you started the relationship as y'all already was talking? Like, when did the relationship start?
We actually haven't had sex yet. So
In the
no.
modern world, you a virgin?
I wish.
There ain't no goddamn
No,
relationship.
why not?
You already gave the cookie up to someone else, and you all. All right,
No.
fair enough. You trying to? All right.
Yeah,
Born again
tryna-
virgin.
No, not definitely
Pass
not
the
a-
sprinkle the water. Sprinkle the holy water.
Yeah.
AV.
Yeah, definitely not a born again virgin. but,
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's unpack it a little bit. So you've been talking to the man, and he said, "Hey, Catherine, you look exquisite, and I want to make you my woman." That's pretty much how it went.
Pretty much. Yes.
Okay, and you said yes.
Yes.
Okay, and y'all, I'm sure y'all went on dates and stuff like
Yeah,
that and hung
yeah,
out.
yeah, we went
All
on
right,
dates,
cool.
yeah.
All right, so you got claimed.
Yes.
How tall is this man?
He's 5'8". Yeah.
Average height?
Yeah,
Okay.
height is not a factor for me, honestly.
How old is this man?
It's 49.
Kind of makes sense why he just want to hop right into a relationship. He like, God dang, my time.
Yeah, why not?
Maybe
Right?
why not? He kind of know what he want.
Yes.
Usually more mature, older men. They kind of like,
Yeah.
you that one. I want
Yeah.
you. Okay.
Honestly,
fair
I've
enough.
always preferred older men because they always seem to know what
They
they
don't want
want.
to play no games. They
No,
want to get right
don't.
into it.
Exactly.
Okay. Cool. I'll ask you more questions, but let's just move it on. We're going to get in more details on this 5'8" man. Black or white? I just need to know.
He's white.
Oh, yeah. White guys, they pretty much to give that relationship card out quick. Oh, I like you, Brittany. Here, take a relationship. Oh, I want the panties. They just want to pander. But we get into that a little bit. We'll see if he's a panderer.
We'll see.
We'll see. Fun fact about yourself.
Oh. I don't know. Like, I just started drawing about 4 months ago, and it's like I'm really like ahead on that.
Okay.
I'm sure you've seen some of my stuff online.
I
You'll see.
didn't, but
Take a look
we'll
at it.
see.
It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like you draw anime or
So yeah, I've been doing anime realism.
what's your favorite anime?
Death Note?
Death Note.
Yes. Yeah.
Mine is
Ryuk.
Dragon Ball Z.
But that's everybody's though.
Yeah, it's not everybody's, but
No,
it is the
really
best.
Actually, so check this out. You're probably gonna like this.
What's
so super sets. I'm gonna be actually putting up murals of anime characters on the walls. So
That's dope.
Yeah. So
that is dope, and that's the one. That's one in Bethlehem.
No, that's the one at South Mall location on Lehigh Street.
Bethlehem, right?
No.
What? South
that's-
Mall? Where
South
that's
Mall
at?
is, that's more of Allentown.
That's Allentown.
You know where Lehigh Street is?
Oh, South Mall. Oh, yeah, that is
Yeah,
Allentown.
yeah.
Okay, so that's more over towards where you live.
Yeah.
Emmaus. Okay,
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
makes
right there.
sense. Fair enough. moving right along. Welcome back, and name, age, and where you from?
My name is Jasmine. I'm 33 and I'm from Jersey.
Jasmine, 33, from Jersey. What part of Jersey you from?
Central.
No,
The
no,
one
no,
that
no.
they say
We need the
doesn't
city.
exist. It exists, excuse me.
What city?
Well, because there's always an argument about North and South Jersey and they try to leave Central.
That is true. That is true.
I was born in Englewood, but I live in North Brunswick.
North Brunswick. Do you know Malcolm
Which Malcolm? What?
Freeman? It's my boy.
I know
Yeah.
Malcolm.
You was on the last show. He was like, yo, how you know her? I was like, she just came on the show.
I
I'm
know
like, I don't know.
Malcolm. Yeah, I kind of like. I didn't grow up with him, but like I know him from.
So
like,
you know
long
Malcolm?
time. Yeah.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
what's
shout out
up.
to Malcolm.
That's what's up. What you do for a living?
I'm a logistics analyst for a liquidation company.
Nice. That's what you was doing last time?
No, I was doing more dispatch work then. So
That was right. You was
yeah.
doing dispatch. Because
So
it's
now-
been a few months since you came on.
It's been almost a year.
For real?
Yeah, it was last July I was here.
Dang, it is going on
Yeah.
a year.
It's been
We only had like 30,000 subscribers back then. Now we about to hit 180. So you've been seeing the movement of the podcast.
for sure.
Relationship status.
I'm single.
Was you single the last time?
No, I was like dating.
I think you said it was complicated.
Yeah,
I
it was
do
like
remember.
Situationshipy
Okay.
kind of thing.
It was a little complicated. So you got rid of that complicated situation.
We not doing that.
Got it. You broke up with him?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. She's like,
Before I get left.
all right. Cool. Fun fact about yourself.
I'm an artist. I do music. So
That is right.
Yeah, so I just actually came back from Cali. I did a show at the W Hotel with Talakai. He was one of the contestants on The Voice couple years ago. So I've been doing music for quite some time. Yeah, so.
Okay. And did you spit a bar the last time?
No, I just had a song that was coming out at that time, which actually Timbaland reviewed that song and he liked it. It's on my page.
You want to spit a bar?
No, we're not doing that. But
This
you
is-
can check me out.
This
Juicy
is your
Jazz.
time to shine. We got a
don't
lot of
wanna rap.
people watching.
I came here to just talk, give perspective. I
Okay.
want
You ain't wanna
people to
promote
see
your
me in
music?
Of course,
Perfect
check me
time.
out, Juicy Jazz, Juice Malone on YouTube. You can follow me on Instagram, Juicily Jazz, and yeah, check out all my music and all that good stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Moving right along. Name, age, and where you from?
My name is Daisy. I'm 26 and I'm from Boston.
Daisy, 26, from Boston. Daisy, what do you do for a living?
I am a full-time nursing student.
Nursing student, like you have a registered nurse. Oh no, you're a nursing student, so you're getting your
My bachelor's.
Your bachelor's, so you want to become a registered nurse.
Yes.
Got it. Sounds good. And relationship status.
Single.
Single. How long you been single for?
Well, about a month and a half.
She was like, yeah, let me get rid of him so I can come on No Fugazee podcast. We lit. That's why you got rid of him because you was coming out here, right?
No.
No? Oh, okay. All right. Fair. No,
It was on turby turns. You know, it was getting too crazy. So
it was a little crazy. Who broke up with who?
I did.
You broke up with him? Give me one thing you did wrong in a relationship and one thing he did wrong in a relationship.
I like emotional intelligence. So I tend to shut down a lot.
Wow.
Stonewall.
She took accountability.
And then on his end, he's just working through a few things, and I want to let him not stress him out more. So, you know.
Okay. You pretty much put all the blame on you. This is a first. God dang. Where you from?
Boston.
Nebraska? You from Lancaster, the Amish city? Nah, I'm messing with you. Okay, so you said that, ease, ladies back there, ease, quietness a little bit, or keep it down, or talk in the back, because we super live right now. Okay, so you said that you lack emotional intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you said that you pretty much shut down.
That's correct.
Dang, she know I ain't got nothing to say to that. Oh, we gonna work on that shutting down. Maybe we got Pastor Andy here. We gonna see what we can, the guidance we can give you.
I'll be praying. So
Don't leave me hanging.
I'm trying.
All right. Fun fact about yourself.
I am a contortionist.
Contortionist. Explain.
I can bend in many different ways.
Okay. Like the dudes that be pop locking. You could put
I
the
can't
arm.
pop my joints because those hurt, but I can bend forward and backwards.
Okay, forward and backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got the third camera here, contortionist. You want to do a move?
I
The
could.
fourth camera? You want to? It's up to you.
Yeah. I don't
You want to see? Steve. I mean, Dan. Yeah, throw it on the big cam. You get right here in the middle,
know.
and then you can see yourself. Oh, you don't need to get up.
I don't need to get up.
Oh well, go ahead. Put it back on the other camera. God dang.
Okay.
Are you gonna put your leg behind your back or head or something like that? Okay.
Oh. What in the? Wait, let me move the camera so the fact that I don't think they're seeing the whole thing.
They're gonna say you a 10 out of 10 now, girl.
Hold up. Oh man, can you put the other one back there?
If I get on the floor, maybe.
Yeah, you don't gotta do all that. You ain't gotta do all that. Let's fix this other camera too. Come on. Oh man, okay.
They're putting rings on the chat.
Yeah, chat probably going crazy right now. You done threw your leg. All right.
It's a yes for me. That's what they're saying.
Pastor, throw the holy water on her.
I'm
He ain't got
in
nothing.
awe. So
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I'm without speech.
No comment. So, contortionist. Well, that was your fun fact. Moving right along. Chat, y'all seen that? Name, age, and where you from?
No, I'm supposed to follow
Oh,
that.
let me help you real quick. Your mic is a little bit. There you go.
Okay. Julie, 33. What was the next one? From Philadelphia suburbs. That, yep.
Julie, 33, from Philly to suburbs. And what do you do for a living, Julie?
I am a procurement manager and branded buyer for a resort and hospitality company.
Nice. Resort and hospitality company. And relationship status.
I am in the process of a divorce currently.
Oh, you divorced him?
Yeah,
Black guy or white guy?
he's black.
God dang, why you do the brothers like that? We don't do nothing that wrong. What'd he do? All right, so give me one thing he did wrong, and same question, her. One thing he did wrong and one thing you did wrong in a relationship.
We both had accountability issues. We both did.
Oh, you both had accountability issues.
Yeah. Fighting wise, anything that happened, it was just kind of, no one took
Accountability.
No one ever took.
So why you initiate the divorce and he didn't initiate the divorce if y'all had the same problems?
There were a lot of other things that happened too in the marriage.
Okay. So you want to just make it kind of easy going, like, yeah, we both had accountability. Give me one other thing that he had an issue with.
I had a hard time trusting.
Okay, that was yours. So you had a hard time trusting.
He was very untrusting as well.
Like he didn't trust you either?
He didn't trust in general.
Oh, okay. Dang, both of y'all had accountability and trust issues. God dang, how long were y'all together for?
A little over 10 years.
So y'all was just in that marriage fighting.
We were only married for 2.
Oh, you were married for 2.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, y'all was together for 8. How long was y'all living together for?
It's been on and off since 2015. So, but consistently, we bought our first house together in 2018.
Okay, so yeah, y'all was living together for a little while. Okay, fair enough. Sounds good. I have so many questions, but I'm not gonna grill you now. They're not grill, but we're not gonna get into it too much. We're gonna save it for later. Fun fact about yourself:
I can juggle.
you can.
Mm-hmm.
We got 2 basketballs back. No, never mind. We don't got enough balls. Never mind. I was gonna have you display your talents, just how she displayed hers. Moving right along. Hold up. Let me fix your mic. There we go. Oh, and we're gonna put that right there. Name, age, and where you from?
My name is Kafi. I'm 30. Born in Trinidad and raised in Brooklyn.
Kafi.
Kafi, yes. Kafi.
Kafi.
Yes.
Okay, nice. And what do you do for a living?
I'm an electrical instructor and an electrician by trade.
Electrician by trade.
Yes.
Okay, nice. And as far as an electrician, well, you said an electrician instructor.
Well, right now I'm an electrical instructor, so I actually
Okay.
train people to become electricians.
Got it. Good for you. Good for you. Let's do relationship status.
I'm single.
Single. How long you been single for?
About 5 years.
Oh, you quick with it. She's like, yeah, I know when I got rid of homie.
Maybe it could be longer, to be honest. I don't really keep.
Could be longer. Okay, fair enough. All right, that was 5 years. So you've been single for 5 years. Wait, how old did you say you were?
I'm 30.
You are 30. Got it. Fun fact.
Fun fact, I feel like my facts are kind of boring. I like math, I like science, I like sci-fi, I like cartoons and anime. I'm a little bit of a nerd, so my fun facts are probably a bit dry.
Favorite anime?
Ooh, probably Hunter x Hunter, because that's the first one that really got me grounded into it. But right now I'm hooked on Jujutsu Kaisen.
Dang, Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah,
Hunter x Hunter.
I'm like 2 episodes away from
Why do
finishing
people
season
like
2.
anime? What is it?
I wasn't into it when
Anime
I was
hard.
younger, but I'm really into karate and cartoons and just very good character development. And
Yeah.
anime is really strong on that. You know, don't let it bypass you. It's really good.
I like the HD channel. I like the ID channel. So I'm into like.
People dying.
Yeah. Normally,
know.
Like serial killers.
yeah,
I
normally
like-
women like
most
watch
women
Lifetime
Discovery
and
Channel, History Channel, Sci-Fi
But I
Channel.
think most women are into that whole serial killer
I
stuff.
love it.
I
Yeah.
think
Listen
women
to
are
it
more into
driving to
that.
work.
I think I've watched like the Dahmer movie,
I
Jeffrey
can't.
Dahmer, like too many times.
I can't.
Too many.
All right, let's cycle this back in. All right, so that's your fun fact. Cool. Pastor, can you introduce yourself to the chat and the audience today?
All right, so I'm Pastor Andy Thompson, and I live in the Raleigh-Durham area, North Carolina, and I'm originally from I was born in Philly, raised in Boston, and my church is called World Overcomers Christian Church. But beyond that, I also have podcasts and do stuff with men, and podcast with men, and half my church is men, not do stuff with men. Let's just be
We
Correct
totally
that.
understand,
Let's be
Pastor.
clear about
Yes,
that.
yes.
Real
No Diddy, no Diddy.
No Diddy. Not over here.
Totally got
And
you.
it's really sad that that's like a thing that
Yeah,
we're saying.
already.
You know what I'm saying? Already.
Or is it
Quick.
accurate?
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, so excited.
Yo, that's
to be
dope. Hey, chat, we do have your podcast actually tagged in the YouTube, so go ahead and show Andy's podcast channel some love. Go ahead and subscribe to his YouTube channel, man. Some good content. I checked out a few clips myself. So we got, oh dang, super chats coming in. I think Holiday Tone, you in here already, man. Okay, let's go with Tone question first then. So Holiday Tone sends him $5. Appreciate the support, man. He is a member. He says, ladies, what is one thing that you believe is mandatory for a woman and man in marriage? So a non-negotiable. Also, raise your hand if you ever hit a man. Let's start with that. Did you ever hit a man?
Like in self-defense, or did it
Just did
initiate
you
it?
hit a man?
To defend myself? Yes.
Okay, we got 1, 2.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
it's-
Go ahead, put that hand up.
I'm not proud of it,
You
but I
had to
abusers.
defend
No, I'm not
You
proud of it.
domestic
I'm not.
violencers. We got 1,
Damn.
3.
Damn it.
Everybody hand up. God dang, stop putting your hands on men.
Self-defense.
It happened once.
Self-defense.
I was very young.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I threw a
Teenager.
mug at a man one time. A glass
Technically, I
mug.
kicked him. I didn't hit him. If you want to be technical.
Okay. So y'all here kicking men.
No, kicked. One kick.
One kick.
One kick. One
Okay.
guy.
Let's
never
just go
again.
around what y'all do to the man. You kicked him. What you do?
Slapped him in the face.
You slapped him in the face. How many times?
3.
Dang, she remembered. That's how you know it. She meant it. She meant it. What about you?
We straight up fighting, punching, kicking.
Oh, dang. She like, nah, we was scrapping. No rules. We was just scrapping. Okay. What about you?
Well, it was my brother. And I mean, a guy hit me too before, but like, I don't want to talk about that. But my brother, that's the
Well, besides you putting your hands on your brother, did you ever put your hands on another man?
yeah, because he hit me first.
We know about that. I just want to know what you do to him.
Stuff.
Go ahead and you can explain.
I beat him up kind of bad.
Oh, you beat him up.
I'm not a small girl, so
Are you about what, 5'8"?
5'10".
Oh, you 5'10".
You
Yes.
get 5'8".
I mean, I'm
yeah,
mad
like,
tall.
I'm 5'9" and a
She's
quarter.
tall.
But yeah, so
Okay, you
it's like,
5'9".
he thought, you know.
And how tall was he?
We probably about the same height.
Dang, you done ragging little, ragging him around.
But he started
Okay, so what's like you punched and
a lot.
Kicked
Punch,
and-
kick, everything you could think of. I
you
was
use
doing
any
it.
weapons?
Yes.
Oh man, she done
pleads the
committed the.
Right. I just don't want to talk
You done-
about it.
okay.
But I defended myself.
All right.
As she should.
The pastor saved you. I was gonna get into more details. The pastor saved you. What you do?
I punched him on his nose and his head hit the window.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. I
What
kind
about
of busted his nose.
what about you?
I smacked one of my exes in the face when I found out he was cheating.
Okay, how many smacks?
Just one, just to get some sense in him.
One? She did 3.
You need to wind up a couple more times.
He's not for me. It's okay.
Yeah.
I wish him the best.
I would say I
feel you.
regret it though.
You regret it? That was my next question. Oh, good. What's your name again?
Kathy.
Kathy.
Yes.
Smart.
Am I?
You do regret it. Do you regret it?
So like, it was my 23rd birthday, and we were drunk, and we were just kind of
She's like, nah, he
standing
deserved
at
it.
the bar, and yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah.
we laughed about it for years after.
Do
that,
you regret
so.
it?
I wouldn't do it again,
Okay.
ever.
So that means you regret it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I regret it.
Yeah, I don't want to fight.
Okay. What about you?
I don't like putting my hands on
Right,
people.
I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't regret it.
Oh, she's straight up like,
I
nah,
felt
he
it.
deserved this slap. Okay. Fair enough. You being no Fugazee off the rip. You was here before, so you know what it is. All right. So his question is, here's the second question on the panel. He says, ladies, what's one thing you believe that's mandatory for a woman and a man in marriage? It's like a non-negotiable. And we're going to start with, you got your hand up? We're going to start with you.
Vulnerability.
Vulnerability is
A must.
a must. On whose end? The man's? On both. Oh, okay. And why do you think that?
Well, because a lot of men just aren't open about how they feel or what they want in a relationship.
Yeah.
And it's the same with women, but let's focus on the men first, because they just be like, well, you're my woman. They're always providing, or they're always doing the best that they can. And they never ask precisely, and they don't feel like they're being appreciated. So in order for you to ask what you want from somebody, you have to be vulnerable. It's hard for you to be like, this is what I want, without it feeling like, you're asking somebody else to do something for you, which is,
Oh, okay. So in order to ask, you have to be vulnerable. Okay. I see the logic. If you're asking a question, you're asking for something. Let's say if you're asking for something, with just that asking for something from your other partner can be conceived as vulnerable, depending on what's being asked. Fair enough. What about you?
Probably trust.
Trust? Okay, so trust is a non-negotiable. What about you?
Being equally yoked.
Explain.
As far as morals and values, I think people's goals and personalities adjust as life experiences happen. But if your values and morals are both
What about you?
What's the word?
What's a non-negotiable?
Compromise.
Both need to compromise.
Yes, absolutely. It
Okay.
has to be compromised.
I like that one. And what about you?
I became big on communication. Like, I think that's key to, the foundation to have a proper marriage relationship in general.
Yeah.
I think that's like the biggest thing that, people lack in relationships is not communicating, let alone not communicating properly to
Yeah.
one another. So,
Okay, so communication is a big one. And what about you?
I'd say respect, because there's certain things you don't do out of respect, and when you could love someone and not respect them, so you'll break certain boundaries because you don't respect them. But if you have respect, then you're not gonna do certain things like cheating or lying or putting your hands on each other.
Okay. But you don't regret you putting your hands on him.
There was no respect.
Fair enough. All right. Pastor, what's your thoughts on this? What's a mandatory, a non-negotiable that both men and women should uphold?
I mean, I think the two main ones, and they kind of encompass everything that you guys talked about, but I think the two main ones for me is it's agreement and then it's understanding, because understanding picks up where agreement fails, because there are some things you're not going to agree about because you're a woman, he's a man, you don't see the world exactly the same way, or your ages may be different, or your cultures may be different. So you want to try to agree, but where agreement falls short, understanding picks up. And if you can only adapt because you agree, then that's a sign that you're immature. But if you can actually adapt because you understand, even if you can say, well, I don't know if I exactly see it that same way, but I understand where you're coming from. And that's kind of what you're talking about in terms of the vulnerability of the chat or the trust, or even the kind of the compromise, is that ability to be like, okay, well, I can adapt to that. You know, when you talk about sharing the same values, that's agreement. That's, you agree about the same things. And I think that there's some very important things to agree about. And you have to be able to communicate for that to even happen, you know. And respect is just, it pulls it all together. But I mean, most people who think they have a problem in their relationship have an agreement problem. Even people who think they have a communication problem, what they really have is an agreement problem. Because if you communicate long enough about something that you don't agree about, it could get nasty. So, you know, ultimately, you know, it is communication. That's huge. But no matter, I mean, think about it. If presidents or the debates, they have to have a moderator there because they don't agree.
Yeah.
So no matter how even mature they are or how much they want to respect each other, I mean, Donald Trump don't respect anybody, but no matter how much they want to respect, if we do not agree categorically about some things, and I think there's some things you need to agree about. And normally I've kind of talked about 5 things that you need to agree about.
Let us know.
I say instead of looking at somebody with a great big grin, you need to look at them with a smirk. The smirk means I'm checking you out. And it's SMIRK. It's sex, money, intangibles, religion, and kids. So you need to talk about sex. You need to talk about you need to agree about sex. You need to agree about what you're going to do, what you're not going to do. You need to talk about money, and that means career decisions too. The little things mean a lot. So if you're really neat and he's really not, you need to talk about those small things because the little things can break people up. Religion is huge. There are wars fought over God. And kids. Are you going to have kids? How are you going to raise them? How are you going to discipline? You have children from before. I have children from before. Can I discipline your son? Can I say something to can you say something to my daughter? People break up over that kind of stuff. And a disagreement in one of those areas is enough to mess somebody up. So, you know, and when you don't, you need to talk about those things, and then you need to understand as best you can. So I know that was a lot. But.
No, I like that. I like that, man. Dropping some gems. Hey, Steve, can you position the camera a little bit? It's too much on my side a little bit.
Skipping in and out. Maybe.
Let me check it.
It's too much on my side a little bit. Might be good now.
Yeah, it's frozen right now.
Let me check it.
Is the chat saying anything?
Well, no, they were saying that.
Can you position?
If they saying if you refresh, mine just wasn't refreshed. But a lot of people were saying.
Hey, chat, let me know if the audio is good. Put a 1.
Good now.
Okay, 1 in the chat. Audio good? Okay, good. All right, yeah. Got you. We're going to go ahead and close out the Facebook stream. Everyone on Facebook, come on over to YouTube. That's No Fugazee Podcast on YouTube. Or you can just type in David Cooley. The live stream will come up. But type in No Fugazee, it'll come up. Closing down the Facebook stream now. Everyone on YouTube, don't go anywhere. But on Facebook, close out Facebook and come on over to YouTube because it's closing out now. Let's see. Okay. So we got Facebook closed out. Let's see it. Then we got mad people in the chat. We got Zentians back in here. I see you, Zentians, man. You sending the big bucks too. We're gonna get to your chat in a little bit. We got some more chats in here to get to as well. So let me give mine, I guess. What was the question again? What's
your deal breakers?
Okay, something that's mandatory.
Yeah,
I agree with everything, pretty much everything that everyone said. I like how you, besides vulnerability, I like how you positioned it and said that, well, having the ability to ask something from the other partner is in fact being vulnerable. That'd be my only disagreement because I don't think asking, I think it depends on maybe vulnerable. To be vulnerable, it's how you do things for the most sense. You know what I mean? If a man approaches you and he's like, yeah, baby, I just lost my job. I don't know, what I'm going to do and stuff like this. Well, he's being vulnerable. It's how he's conveying himself to you that shows lack of masculinity and leadership. But if he does it the right way, and he's strategic about it, maybe after he already got things figured out, baby, we was having some troubles, but it's all fixed now. We good. Gonna be starting this other job. We good. Oh, well, Dean, okay. He was, all right, well, Dana, you didn't make me worry about anything. Women like to live a comfortable life. They like to live a comfortable life emotionally. Security encompasses all of it. You know what I'm saying? When women look for security, they look for financial security. They look for emotional security. They look for all of the security protection. You know what I'm saying? So a man, he has to be the rock for that woman's emotions to fall on. He shouldn't be the one falling on her. Never make the woman the rock. So when a man is vulnerable and he makes the woman the rock, you're walking on thin ice, because now it's up to the woman to on how she perceives it. It's up to, you're putting all the power on her, because it's a threshold of weak BS men that women can take. Like, there's a threshold of beta-ness and femininity that women can take. All women have a threshold. Like, if a man is whining and crying too much, your threshold is, some women threshold is here, other women threshold is here of how much they can take. But I tell men that you don't want to leave it up to the woman. You're the leader. You don't leave nothing up to the woman. So as far as being vulnerable, it's about how you do it. So if you lost your job, don't be, your job is to get another job and to protect and provide. So don't just go telling her right away that you lost your job. Try to figure things out. Call your dad, call another man, look for some guidance and someone that's not going to look down on you and judge you when you're being vulnerable. Men, we could tell each other stuff all the time. I would never, ever, ever, ever in my life look at Andy anything any different. If he told me and he was very vulnerable and he cried to me, I wouldn't look at him differently. But if me and you are in a relationship and I'm crying to you, there's a possibility that you may look at me different because you look for leadership from me. Andy doesn't look for leadership from me. You know what I'm saying? So since the woman looks for leadership from the man, it's incumbent upon him to be perspicacious enough to understand, like, I shouldn't be draining all my emotions on this woman because it's not her job to handle that. Make sense? So that's what I would say. But let's get into we got Tim M became a member, joined a gang. Major shout outs to Pastor Andy for the stream with Cooley, and also for being a guest on this one. I can't wait for part 2. That's what's up, man. Hey man, we gonna do a part 2 with Andy. Definitely gonna do a part 2 with him. He was dropping some gems. Told him I'm gonna steal a couple things, and that is what it is, right?
Yeah, man.
All right. So we got actually, before we get into the more to the rest of the super chats, let's go with the ladies. Do y'all have any questions? Any starter questions? Let's go. Let's get it. Y'all was talking before, which I got.
I don't know. I wanted to go back what you were saying with men, being vulnerable. For some reason, and I don't know if it's just me, but I have a lot of guy friends. Yeah. And a lot of them tend to be quite open on just very vulnerable to me. I've been, things have been said to me that honestly, it's not, most people can't handle, so, I don't know if it's just me.
So I got some, okay. You said you got guy friends.
Yes.
The reason why they're your guy friend and they're in friend zone is because they're being vulnerable to you. It's the reason why. So you got to think about it, right? Mm-hmm. You have no expectations of ever being sexually active with your guy friends. That's correct. But I can assure you, they have somewhere in their mind of clapping them cheeks.
But I will say this. Some of them have clapped these cheeks, okay? Now, with that being said...
Dang, she gave it up to the friends. No.
With that being said, so they...
Wait, quick thing. Yes. Were they friends? Did you put them in a friend zone and then they worked their way out of it and clap cheeks, or did they clap cheeks before friend zone and then like after clap cheeks it was kind of like
we were in a relationship and then just we just go our separate ways, but
that's a little bit different.
We still stood friends. It's
so your exes.
He clapped cheeks before the friend zone.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the guys that you actually placed in friend zone because you didn't see anything with them.
Oh yeah, no. There's some I didn't I actually placed in Friendzone that I just didn't see anything with them.
Okay, I'm sure.
But the ones that, like, let's say exes, like, I've had exes that were very, like, vulnerable towards me. And honestly, for me, I want a man that I'm with to be able to, I guess, you know, I want to be their safe place. You know, I actually love when a man sees me as their safe place. Like, I don't want you to go and have to speak to your boys about, or another woman. Because I feel that most men cheat in marriages in general because they're not able to express themselves to their wives because they're worried about, oh, she's gonna look at me like I'm a simp or I'm weak, you know. So, and I don't want that. I want my man to be able to come to me like, oh, baby, like, you know, this is going on, like, you know. I want that.
One thing real quick, most men cheat is because they have 17 times more testosterone than a woman, and also most men cheat sexually with another woman because they look, it's just sex to a man. So the facts is that men don't give a freak about the woman's personality. Like, say me and you in a relationship, and I have the want to cheat. I don't care what she has going on. I'm not looking for me to be vulnerable to her and me to talk to her. I just want to clap cheeks. I got 17 times more testosterone in my veins than you. Men get turned on like a light switch. For you to get turned on, well, you're gonna need some. He's gonna have to stimulate your emotions to an extent. You don't got to stimulate any emotions over here. So, looking at it that way, I see how you're looking at it because you're looking at it from a female's lens, but men and women, we tend to operate a little bit differently.
Can I?
Sorry.
Also, I'll let you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
so you're actually gonna like this one.
Okay.
So, I was in a relationship with a guy. Okay. Now, he's into like the polygamy. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm not into that. I just can't. You know, I can't do it. So basically, like, he was like that. Like, he would say the same thing. Like, you know, if I go have sex with her, it doesn't mean anything. You know, I'm still coming back to you. You know, so, and we basically like came to like an agreement that I was exclusive to him because I can't be jumping from man to man. That's not for me.
Yep.
You know, I was exclusive to him, and he just basically goes
open on his end, closed on your end.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And so what you trying to? Okay, so you saying that?
No. That's why we're not together.
Well, I mean, you didn't. It kind of seemed like he convinced you to those terms of the relationship, and
I was
that wasn't
settling.
Okay,
I was
you were
settling.
Okay, maybe
you know, and
maybe
that's
you settled into it.
and that's where I started to realize, like, okay, this is not for me. Like, it's not, you know.
Okay, let's bring it back to the point where you talked about vulnerability. What was your point of contention where you said that you kind of said that you think it's okay for a man to be vulnerable is because you have guys in the friend zone and they hit you up and they're vulnerable with you. So you want to differentiate things. You don't want to, you know, put everything together. So let's just differentiate the two. The guys that was in your friend zone, those guys got to separate it. You know, you got the ones that you've had relationships before and now y'all just friends. Since you've already had relationships with them before, right? And I'm going to let you know the reason why you accept the vulnerability from a man, from any man. Yeah. And because you do have a threshold. Yeah. So the reason why you accepted the vulnerability from past exes, because one, you're not looking for anything from those men, right? You're not looking for them to protect and provide or give you any type of security.
From past exes?
Yeah, since y'all friends, you're not looking for any security from those guys. Y'all friends now. Well, like he's not paying your rent.
No, but when we were in a relationship,
you were looking for that. Yeah, but the thing is, you got to differentiate the two. Okay. I'm telling you, explaining to you the reason why you felt comfortable, meaning that your threshold of dealing with, pretty much this is what I'm saying. In a relationship, a man being vulnerable to the woman doesn't work. You're walking on thin ice is what I'm talking about. You are saying that, well, you accepted men being vulnerable with you, but they weren't in a relationship with you. The point that you used was friend zone guys. So guys that are vulnerable with you, well, that's in a friend zone. Well, there's a reason why you keep those guys in a friend zone. Now let's talk about the guys that you never had a relationship with that's in friend zone. They have no chance of getting your box at all. They're too vulnerable with you. And it's a multitude of other reasons why they're not getting a box. Maybe you're not attractive. You're attracted to them. It's a multitude of things. But Say if they did work on their money and worked on their muscles and work on their game, he was still, Jerry was sobbing to me. I don't look at Jerry like that, but let's say if Jerry wasn't sobbing to you and he worked on himself and he became more of an attractive, appealing man, but he wasn't vulnerable, you'll be looking at Jerry like, God dang, Jerry done stepped it up.
No, but you can't see that's why you're wrong about me, because
I'm sure you do have a bigger emotional threshold than some people. I'm just saying that you do have a limit. And men, the difference is,
because I'm gonna tell be open with me, but then I'm gonna tell you like, okay, it's time to man up eventually.
I want to explain the differences. The differences is me and Andy don't have a limit. We are made to be the rock for a woman's emotions to fall on. We are made to handle the woman being vulnerable with us. That's what we're made for and we're built for. You're not built for that. So when a man is being vulnerable with you, you have a threshold. So when I'm doing a podcast and I'm speaking about should men be vulnerable to women, you're walking on thin ice because you don't know her emotional threshold. And even if you try to figure it out, you're still walking on thin ice. Yeah, so that's what I would say. Anything on that, ladies? You had something, right?
No, I was just going to say that I feel like a main part that's missing from it is mentorship. So I feel as if a lot of more men had mentorship and someone who they can actually rely on for guidance, they wouldn't feel the need to expose themselves so much in a relationship. Because granted, we do have a tolerance level, but realistically, let's say your guy is having a bad time and you have a bad time.
Yeah.
So now you are restricting your emotions, you're restricting what you're saying, you're not being yourself because you want to make him feel comfortable. So granted, we can do it, but we actually end up adjusting our personalities and we kind of treat them like they're wounded a little bit in that moment versus treating them like they're the king and they're boss, and they got everything going on. So I think it's more so of a perception, kind of like why your parents hide that there's problems in the house because they don't want you to not look at them like a superhero, So I feel like for men, that perception is needed for the ego and the pride. And when they do come to us and you see Superman is wounded, it does affect you a little bit. You might not call him to save you because you're like, shit, he's going through something. I'm going to call someone else. You start second guessing his reliability because of what he's going through. So like I've dated a guy, super alpha, and when he's going through things, he's like, baby girl, I got it. And I've asked him, like, won't you tell me? He's like, because I don't want you to not tell me when something's wrong with you because you're too worried about me.
That's a fact. That's
how I look at it.
Yeah. And one of the things why, like if you peel the layer back, and you explained it perfectly, thank you. If you just simplify it, when a man is vulnerable with you, it does not get your toto wet. Your vagina doesn't get wet at all. It actually dries up. Cactus.
But why would it get wet?
But think about it. A man is being a man and a masculine man at all times. He don't want to do anything to dry that thing up. He don't want to do that. But the difference is when you're vulnerable with us, it's nothing changes. There's no change. So we are made to deal with the woman being vulnerable to you, but you are not made to be dealing with a man being vulnerable to you. Go ahead.
Sorry, I got something to say, but
sure.
In my experience of me being vulnerable...
Talk to the mic for me.
Oh, my experience of me being vulnerable, I tend to make them sad with me or cry with me. So how would that...
They vulnerable.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't doing his job. So, and I did this analogy before. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. But it's like rock, paper, scissors, shoot. It's like rock, paper, scissors. So if you are always draining your emotions on a man, you always scissors and you always paper. And let's say the man is being emotional too. He's scissors and his paper. It's just y'all cutting each other up. Yeah. No one's the rock in that scenario. Buddy. Nothing goes right. But now let's say it's just two emotional people just sobbing and, it was like two girls pretty much talking. Like, what is that? That dynamic is a little weird. But when you look at it and there's you're being scissors and paper because you're emotional, you're draining your emotions and he's a rock. Well, guess what? He could deal with that. Yeah. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. So
aren't women more emotional creatures? So why would we not be able to handle the vulnerability of a man?
So good question. So this comes to emotional intelligence. So emotional intelligence women lack. You don't have emotional intelligence. Women tend to think that they have emotional intelligence is because they feel more emotions. That's nonsense. Just because you feel more emotions, it gives you the perception of that, oh, well, yeah, I'm so emotional. I have this emotional intelligence. That's wrong. Emotional intelligence is having the ability to act despite how you feel. So it's controlling your emotions. So men tend to be more logical and rational human beings. One, we are lower in estrogen, and we don't experience negative emotions like the woman experiences. Women are higher in trait neuroticism. So that means that they feel more negative emotions than a man. So you experience more units of emotions and also more negative emotions than the man does. So you tend to think, since you're so emotional and you're just dissolving in your emotions, you feel like, well, the man isn't emotionally intelligent because he's not emotional. Wrong. Emotions, there's a few good emotions in life. Love, joy, happiness, things like that.
Because men don't typically deal with emotion, how can they have the intelligence of it if they don't really they're not in touch with their emotions. They don't typically deal with it. So like the intelligence comes
Snapping
from
your
actually having
fingers.
the experience or like, going through something or actually like learning from the experience. So it's like I don't get how they have more of an intelligence over women when they don't really deal with their emotions at all.
Good question. So I'll let you go after me.
Okay, no problem.
And then if you got anything, cut me off. Let me know. So you said that the woman, you said that men don't really deal with emotions.
And aren't statistically women more mature than men?
No, that isn't true. If you're talking about from a biological standpoint, as far as
yes,
when a
because
woman,
we're programmed to we're programmed from young family and children and raising and things like men aren't.
Let's go back to that. Let's stick on. We're gonna hit that point first. Let's hit the first point from what you said. You said that men don't know how to.
I didn't say they don't. I'm just trying to figure out, how do you feel that they're more intelligent when they don't deal with emotions?
Okay, it's because your view of it. You're looking at emotions incorrectly. I'll explain why. So emotions are not to be, how can I say, you're saying deal with it. Emotions are not to be expressed outwardly. And we're speaking about negative emotions. Let's just be clear. We're not speaking about happiness and joy and love and stuff like that. Right. We're speaking about the negative emotions. Negative emotions is not supposed to be, dealt with outwardly, right? So you look at a man and you think that what you're doing is you want to feminize the man because you're looking at the man as a woman. You know that when you're dealing with things and you're emotional,
emotions is a human thing. It's not a woman or man thing.
Let me break down the differences. You know that when you're in an emotional state and you're going through emotions, you express your emotions by crying, by sobbing, by being vulnerable. You have your way of expressing your emotions. So from a woman's standpoint, in your point of, and in your eyes, you feel like I'm dealing with my emotions. I'm saying that men deal with their emotions differently. So women deal with their emotions outwardly. No one cares when a woman cries or when a woman is a little angry. No one is, getting into losing their mind. But when a man is emotional and he's crying and he's doing crazy things, well, that's when school shooting happens. That's when he's robbing and stealing. That's when he's putting his hands on a woman. So when a man expresses his emotions outwardly, you feel the consequences of that, and the world does. All of those men in prison are emotional men. So I'm saying that men deal with their emotions differently. Inwardly, right? So you have to overcome your emotions inwardly so you don't express it outwardly. An emotional man is a dangerous man. An emotional woman is, okay, it's another day.
Yeah. So how would that make him that's what I'm saying.
So you just have a difference. So intelligence is that, what I just explained. The emotional man dealing with their negative emotions outwardly, well, it's not intelligent, is because you're more likely to do something degenerate. You're more likely to adhere to only your vices, to not have any discipline. Right. You're more likely to put his hands on a woman. He's more likely to do bad things because he's dealing with it outwardly. So here's a psychological fact real quick. Men and women both show aggression. They both show aggression because this is kind of what we're talking about, emotions. But women show aggression differently, by character destruction, by gossip, and using innuendo. That's an indirect. Innuendo is indirect. Let's say if you're at home and let's say your mother and your father is not even that. You see your mother and your father. Your father is leaving the house, and your father says, I'll be back in a little bit, and your mom's like, that's innuendo, because then internally the kid sees that, well, why is daddy leaving the house? Is daddy doing something wrong? So it's an indirect way to see that, well, what's going on here? So it's to destroy the character of the other person. So that's how women show their aggression. Men tend to show their aggression in a physical way. So by breaking stuff, by hitting things. This is why more men are in prison. It doesn't mean that women aren't in prison because they're not as emotional or aggressive. They just show it differently.
Right,
so we're talking about the differences of it, expressing
but
the emotions.
when we express it outwardly, it's not violent.
Exactly. Usually it's not.
Right. So it never gets to the point of destruction. So how can a man like, that's what I'm saying. Like, where's the intelligent part come in where men are more intelligent?
I just told you, because it's very simple.
But you just said that when they express their emotions, go ahead, say it.
I got you real quick. When it
becomes violent.
When you express your emotions, no one's panties is in a bunch. Like, if you got 1,000 women marching and marching for something, they're like, okay, let's go to sleep. If you have 1,000 men marching, they're obviously emotional about something. Call the cops. We got to protect our village. Gate it up. It's about to go crazy. No one cares about a woman. You're physically not as strong as a man. So no one gets their panty in a bunch when you're emotional. When a man is emotional, the reason why it's intelligent for him to not express it outwardly is because bad things happen.
You're just missing my point of saying that men are more emotionally intelligent.
But this is what I'm saying. This is why the man, when he can suppress his emotions and not deal with it outwardly, it's intelligent. When a woman just expresses her emotions outwardly, it's
my
not
point is
intelligent.
it never affects
Let me just say,
anything.
I think that you're in a sense saying the same thing, because I think that when we're talking about emotional intelligence, we're talking about the expectation of how you handle your emotions.
Right.
And in a sense, if you think about it, even historically in humankind, there was even a time when even women were supposed to be very in control of their emotions and very in control of their feelings or very in control of their face. Like, if you look at any classic show like Bridgerton or any of those shows, like, those women were supposed to be able to dress a certain way, look a certain way, carry themselves in a certain way, regardless of what was going on around them.
Right.
Like, they were expected to be ladylike or ladies and to kind of hold that. Guys were expected to be very gentlemanly. Women were expected to be very ladylike. And what has happened is, as culture has evolved and as women have even become more free, they have been allowed more to be more expressive of their anger or be more expressive of their frustrations. And the expectation of men is that they do not be that way. And so now they're being required to maintain their sanity regardless of their emotions. And women have been more allowed to not be that way. And a part of the challenge of masculinity, even today, we were talking about earlier, is that if we're now going to think that all masculine energy is negative, we're now going to expect men to be able to emote like women. And that's dangerous. It's dangerous for men to be able to freak out at the least little thing going wrong. Now we got the school shootings. Now we got men who are unable. Now we got men who are sitting in their basement writing their manifesto over a light bulb. We have an expectation as a society for men to be able to get yourself up, rub it and keep on going. Hold yourself together. We still have the expectation of men, but we have kind of slipped it now a little bit with women. And then shows like Real Housewives or whatever, where women are just burning dudes' clothes and putting sugar in gas tanks. So now we think it's okay. It's okay for women to just act any old way in which they want to. And I think that is something that also needs to be addressed. But I think that when we're talking about that intelligence, I think we're talking about there still is, and I think there should be, and that there needs to be, and men need to expect it. We need to expect a guy to be like, hey, listen, just because you're upset doesn't mean you don't need to go to work. Just because you're sad or bothered doesn't mean you don't need to take care of business. Men need to expect that from men. I think women need to expect it from women. I think when women just think, oh, well, because there are things that women can do horribly to men when they're upset. Lie on them, say things. Women who are in a custody will accuse men of things that they don't do, and no one holds them to task on that. We all are kind of like, well, they were upset. So I think that women need to hold women accountable too, to the way that they carry themselves in behaviors, and so that they can maintain their emotional intelligence. I think that right now it's just slipped. And we still expect men to be like, yeah, but you
say something?
you still got to get it together.
Can I say something? So I hear what you're saying, but I think what her point is yes, like you're saying, a man is told to not show his emotions. So he's told his whole life not to show his emotions, and the woman is told her whole life it's okay to have emotions, be emotional. And now you're dealing with a man who does not know how to interact with a woman who has been told that her emotions are valid. So what she's saying,
Emotions
in my
aren't valid,
opinion,
though.
is that she's saying she seems to be more of a emotionally intelligent person because she's been dealing with her emotions versus him who has been told to shove it down and
Meaning
not speak
I can be
about
versatile, men can't. So
Well-
the intelligent part comes from I can act out and not cause people to die. Men can't do that.
And
you
you
guys
could
act
also
out and
learn
it
to
becomes
withhold
violent.
your
And if I
emotions.
internalize it, then I'm doing the same thing as you. So the intelligent part comes in the fact that if I can act, if to me at least, if I am emotional and I get upset and it doesn't lead to destruction, then that to me is the intelligent.
And this is what I
think we're
wanted to.
more aware.
That's the difference. So, we gotta break it down a little bit differently. Aggression, when in the emotions, men and women show emotions differently, and they act out their aggressions differently. Women attempt often themselves. I can't say the S word. Women attempt often themselves more than men. Men are just more successful at it. The reason why men are more successful at it is because they express their emotions differently outwardly, and they're more aggressive. I just explained the differences of it. So when we're talking about emotional intelligence, just because you tried to off yourself 10 times and it didn't go right, doesn't mean you're emotionally intelligent because you didn't go through with it.
No,
that just means that you're a coward. If you really think about it, you got your mind and something, finish the job.
That's so extreme.
I mean, that is an extreme, but I'm just painting a picture here, right? So when we peel back the layer to things, it's very simple to understand. The emotional, intelligent person is acting despite how you feel. If I'm in a bad mood, I'm going to smile at you today. I'm going to talk kind to you and nicely to you today. I'm not going to express my bad mood onto you.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that women do that. Generally speaking, women do that. We can see it on y'all faces sometimes. We could, it is what it is. Men are more emotionally intelligent because they're not expressing it outwardly. The thing that he just explained is that it's more culturally accepted when a woman is not emotionally intelligent. You understand? That's
Yes,
all
I
he explained.
totally get
So
it.
it's more acceptable when you lack emotional intelligence. It's not acceptable when a man lacks emotional intelligence because it's consequences for an emotional man. So the emotional intelligent person, again, is acting despite how you feel. What you got?
I was gonna say I'm more of a science person, so I like to look at facts. And the truth is, most men are analytical thinkers.
Yeah, logic.
Meaning they're good at science and math, and women are usually good at history and English. Because history and English is subjective, you have to put yourself into it. Versus math and science, it doesn't matter how you feel, the answer's still
Got to
the
get yourself
answer.
out of it.
So I feel like what happens is when these two different mindsets get older, you have one perspective that just sees facts without emotion, and another perspective that sees it specifically from their emotion. So I feel like sometimes, even as women, a lot of times we kind of, when someone tells us something, we get triggered because we think about our personal experience. Guys don't really do that. You know, they're completely separate from the situation. They have that like third party view. So I don't know if it's necessarily they're more emotionally intelligent or like Cooley expressed earlier that the way they express it
It's
is
different.
not outward.
Yeah, it's just different.
Right? But in reality, though, it does become more productive for society, right? So I think that's why it comes off as more emotionally intelligent, because men kind of sitting back and taking that reform affects society less than women being outwardly aggressive, you know?
Right, facts. Can I?
Yeah, when you're screaming, you look like you're
But
crazy.
even if you're not screaming, even if you're passive aggressive,
Aggressive, yeah, that
that's
can still come
still
off.
Still comes
a
off.
lot of tension in the room versus my dad used to just kind of drive off.
What you got?
I just want to say that chemically, we also often are more emotional by nature. So, like every week, a woman has a different set of chemical compounds, and we have to also take that into account. Which men, they are the same the whole time, so they can deal with, they don't have to be inside themselves during, their period and stuff like that. So
Besides when a man is horny, all logic goes out the window. Goddamn,
Hungry doesn't help either.
Hungry doesn't help.
Like I am
Hungry and
now.
horny, the two
Like we
H's.
all are.
Yeah, this is all logic goes out the window.
I think it's a
But-
mistake to think that men don't have emotions, though.
Yeah, no, we do have
'Cause
emotions.
We do.
Oh, yeah,
We
absolutely.
absolutely have
Yeah,
emotions. And
for sure.
let me just say this as, probably, the oldest person here, that younger guys are different than older guys.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the older you get as a guy, your emotions start to matter more to you.
Mm-hmm.
When you're a younger guy, it's like, you just want it. When you're younger, you just want it. You don't care. You'll even sleep with people that you don't even like because your testosterone is so high, your sex drive is so high, it's your procreative nature. You just want it. When you're one of the reasons why older guys get divorced is because after a while, it's like, if I don't like you, it doesn't matter how you look. If I don't like you, that's why you like older guys. If I don't like you, we got to be able to. When you're younger, as a guy, you don't care. But when you're older, you need the lights to be right too. You need the temperature to be right too. And if you have pissed me off, I'll just go get a bowl of ice cream. So right now, when you're younger, it's very different. But the older you get as a guy, you do begin to relate a little bit more and understand kind of where women were coming from in the first
So
place.
can I ask a follow-up question?
Dang, we got three at the same time. Let's just do it in order. But who has the follow-up question?
well,
I do.
Yo, so let's go with you first then.
Well, I was gonna say, because it's actually funny that you say that, because that was one of the things that he actually had expressed to me, that yes, he finds me extremely attractive, but he is more focused on me as a person and how I am, just if we match up mentally, then the physical aspect comes in. Because if I'm not with him there mentally, he's not going to have much really interest in me physically. So, yeah. So,
And when you get older as a dude, you realize ultimately, especially if you're in shape, you realize you get to give yourself as a gift. So you giving yourself as a gift,
Speaking facts, go ahead.
that's everybody don't get that. So when you're young, you just don't care. You'll bang a couch when you're young. But when you get some age on you, you start to realize, oh, you don't get this just because you're hot. And I want to make sure that you feel me, that I feel you, that I like you before I get to give this gift of me to you. And that's a part of what seasoning and just knowing who you are.
I like 'em
solid as a dude. That's a part of what it is. Instead of you just being a taker, you actually realize the real thing that you're doing is giving, because that's the thing. Because guys learn how to give themselves an orgasm. Nobody has to teach them. They figure it out on their own. It's a sign that they're ultimately supposed to be an orgasm giver, not just an orgasm getter. So once they realize that that's the real goal, then they realize that they're the one that's giving the gift. Now everybody don't get that gift. So that's a part of the reason why an older guy will be that way. He just ain't all about him no more. And he's trying to figure out somebody worthy for him to actually give that to.
Yeah, and
You recommend an older guy then?
Absolutely.
No, I'm just asking.
Honestly.
Seriously, right?
Absolutely.
That's a good question.
I think one of the things that we've gotten off, and you're West Indian, so from the West Indians, it's like one of the things that we've gotten off on is you're right in a sense that it's not that women are more mature than men. It's just that there's an expectation of maturity for women. And so I think that a woman who is 25 has way more in common with a dude who's 35 than she does with a dude who's 25. It's just the facts. And so sometimes what you all are expecting from a guy, he just ain't ready to give it to you yet. He just ain't there. You're 26, you're 27. Your clock is ticking because your ability to get pregnant drops off when you're in your early 30s. So, and plus you want to do it young. And so to be expecting that from a dude who's still playing video games, no shade, but that can be tough. And right now we just have this expectation that you'll be the exact same age. I'm telling you, add 7 years, add 8 years, add 10 years, a dude. And if the guy's in shape at 40, he's going to be in shape at 50. He's going to be in shape. If he ain't in shape at 50, he probably won't in shape at 40. This dude right here, I've been looking like this whole time. I'm the same size I was when I played basketball in college. You're never not going to be in shape. So what I'm saying is that the years don't matter. And it also helps you to respect him a bit more, because respect is very important to men. It's huge. Y'all, it's love. For guys, it's respect. So if a dude's got 10 years on you and it's got life experience, it makes it easier for you to respect him, which makes it a little bit easier to begin with. But that age gap can help quite a bit.
Yeah, let me also give you a perspective here. He explained it perfectly, just so the audience can understand as well. So, and like what you're saying is, and pretty much what he explained is the age difference between, like you said about, what was it? You said, who said that women are mature faster?
Jazz.
Oh, that was you. Oh, you.
No,
Jasmine.
That was you. Well, we'll get into that in a second too. So yeah, I mean, the difference is this. Like the reason why your man, the guy you dating right now, he has more expectations, and you think that he's looking for other things than just your body. The truth is, yeah, that's true, but it ain't just that. Trust me.
Yeah.
Men, it don't matter what age we are attracted to beauty. So beauty is the first thing that gets you in the door. But in order for us to have a relationship with you and see a future with you, it's the things you do outside of beauty. It's the value you add to a man's life outside of sex. And guess what? The reason why he is the way he is not just the age, because it's some 50-year-olds that don't have those standards at all. So what it is that it's the value that the man earned. You get what I'm saying? So it's an age. So men aren't born with the value. They have to earn their value. So it takes time for a man to earn their value. And I mean sexual value, meaning that you're sexually, the opposite sex is attracted to you. When you're 18, the world's your oyster. You get flown out. You can go on a boat, a yacht, do what you want. You're attractive to all men. Men, when we're 18, we're scrawny, we ain't got no money, we broke, we ain't attractive to most women. So that means that we kind of take what we can get. So the fact that the older man has standards tells me that, well, he earned his value. He knows that, well, I got some options out here. And if I'm gonna get in a if I'm gonna grant a woman a relationship, she not only has to be beautiful, but I have to see what's on the inside. What value can she bring to me outside of sex? And that comes when a man earns his value. That's what I would say.
So here's a question for you then. When you say value, like, okay, what would you want from a woman to bring to you in value? Like
men are simple creatures. This is my first time meeting Andy, but I'm sure we'll agree on pretty much everything. When it comes to, we simple creatures. Purity is something that's very good. You look for security, which is a multitude of things, protecting, providing, giving you this stability and all stability and all of this. We look for purity. So what's pure in a woman? Well, a woman with not a whole lot of baggage in the past. So less is more when it comes to a woman. So we look for peace. And if the woman is pure, it's a higher probability that she can give us peace because she wasn't molded by the world and molded by her exes and molded by society and all the traumas that she went through. So if she is more pure, she's more likely to give us peace, and that's what we truly want.
So no emotional baggage, pretty much.
Well, emotional baggage is one thing.
So is this why most older men like younger women?
Well, I mean, men in general, statistics was done, and they asked men from ages 18 all the way to 60, where do you find women most attractive? What's the age range? It was from 18 to 25. That was the hover around. So from a man that's 18 to 60 years old, they all think the women that's most physically attractive is from 18 to 25. Now that can differ, of course. That's just a statistic. There's always exceptions to the rule. One man preference may be this. Also, women kind of carry their beauty differently. Some women can look very young and, go to the gym and stuff like that, so she can carry her beauty for a while. But besides just the beauty, it's the purity. And that comes with, the more pure you are, the higher likelihood you can give me peace. The less pure you are, the more damaged you are, the more things that you've been through and people put you through. So that means you got a lot of baggage on you, and you're going to bring this baggage into the relationship. So this is why you said he was 46?
49.
49. This is why that 49-year-old man is saying, hey, you're beautiful, but what else can you give me besides your beauty? Because he worked on his value, and he knows that his time is valuable. He's just not looking for, sex. He's looking for more than just that.
One thing I definitely, my thing is now is like come healed. Like I've definitely done a lot of healing. I've actually started to really, find God and really focus on that. And I will say this, it's brought me a lot of peace. I think it's brought me so much peace that it's like I'm okay with times just being alone a lot of times,
And chat, we got y'all, chat. I see y'all sending in the super chats. We're going to get to the super chats. And then we got the big bowlers in here today. So we're going to get to those in a second. Before we get to the discussion of maturity, did anyone want to speak about something else or no?
Do you think the world would be a better place if men weren't here? So when I say that this
question I have written down.
A girl, she said, you know what I realized? She said that outside is only dangerous because of men. So she was saying that, which is true, statistically, violence, men.
That isn't true.
Statistically, so out of 10 serial killers, there'll be one woman.
No, well, let's peel the layer back. You always got to get to the... Let's get to the...
All wars. What were wars started by?
Let's get to the root.
Serial killers are caused by women.
Let's get to the root cause of things. Manipulation happens when you focus on the effects and you don't go to the cause. So let's not manipulate me. I don't want you to manipulate yourself. I want to get to the root of it.
Okay.
So the root of it is that without a man and you were just here, you would have been eaten by a lion, a tiger, and bear. And guess what? If the lions and tigers and bears didn't get you, you wouldn't have the ability to gather enough calories for you to last. Because a woman can't manipulate the world how a man can. That's a fact. So without a man... What I'm saying is, without a man, it was done on survival. They had women on one island, a man, and a bunch of men on another island. And they had them there for X amount of days. Mm-hmm. The man, in just a short amount of time, a few days, they built a hierarchy to things. The woman worked as a committee. They tried to do everything equal. So let me explain to you how a world would operate with only women and how a world would operate with only men. So a world with only men in the survival series. Let me finish.
Visitation,
I got you. I'm going to break it all down to you. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to you. So you need to learn this. So a world with only men. Well, guess what? Me and Andy, we respect the hierarchy. Andy is a pastor. I'm not going to ever go to his church and think that I have more knowledge than what he has in the Bible. He is a biblical scholar. I'm going to respect him when I go to his church. When Andy comes here, he knows that I have a podcast, dating and relationships. I'm doing my thing. He's going to respect that. We're not going to be in competition. We're not going to bump heads. When men get together, we know, oh, he's stronger here. He has this skill here. He got this. Let the best person work this skill, and that creates a hierarchy from top down. When a woman get together, what you think about, you're all emotional. So you're tiptoeing all the time and you're looking at the sensitivity levels in this woman and that woman because you know that you are sensitive. So what you do is you create a committee, and what you do is you start looking at everything in an egalitarian sense to equalize everything. You get two, you get two, you get two, you get two. The men don't operate like that. Did you do enough to get two? If you ain't do enough, you're not getting to. Mm-hmm. You get zero. Put in that work and then you get that. Mm-hmm. This is why on the survival series, men, they was cleaning water fast, building fires fast, because they created that hierarchy. They put the best person in position first. The women, they was trying to do everything equal and by committee. So they couldn't create any order and any structure. Mm-hmm. So they just, like some women was like quitting immediately and they didn't survive at all. Of course, the TV show didn't let them die, but theirs ended shortly and the men, they're finished the whole time. So what I'm saying is, your question is, you said that, well, what would the world be? Yeah, the world wouldn't be safer without men. You would have been eaten by some, by freaking animals and stuff like that. You would have been eaten by nature. You wouldn't survive nature. Men, and you got to think about it, nature killed more people than any wars and anything you could never imagine. So think about that. And men, we build infrastructure to protect the woman from nature. We build houses and stuff like that. So protect the woman. We give you this comfortability for you. But there are just certain bad apples out there because that's how the world works.
You wouldn't figure it out if you guys
No,
weren't
you
here?
wouldn't have. There's just certain bad apples out there in the world that men do bad things. And men like us, we hold those men accountable. We tell those men, stop being emotional and work on your masculinity. Get in the gym and do better. Stop smoking and drinking and worried about all these vices. Mm-hmm. Do better. Have some self-discipline. Yeah. But what else?
Amen.
And we'll create the laws too because we care. Because we have daughters and wives and mothers and sisters and We want you to be able to walk the streets.
Yeah.
So, when Rome made the Roman roads, it's like they wanted you to be able to walk the road safely. And, but I mean, I understand
I was just based on. I mean, her question made sense. She said outside wouldn't be so dangerous if
That's
men
because she
didn't
looked
exist.
at the effects of things.
No doubt.
And manipulation happens. That's what I'm trying to tell you, ladies. Anytime, because this is something that I learned when I was like 26, and it helped me out, and it helped. Because everything is influence based. Influence creates thinking, thinking creates behavior. So you got to be very susceptible and careful of what you are allowing to influence you. And it's very easy to understand once you understand that manipulation happens when you focus on the effects and not the cause. Because when you said it, I knew automatically manipulation, because that's not the root of it. Right? So let's peel back the layer and get to the root. This is why people believe in all of this. They believe that a person can be born gay. They believe that the world didn't have a God. Talk about the effects of stuff. Before the Big Bang and before all of that other stuff, God was outside of it, and that created. Well, what created the atom? They keep on going further and back. LGBTQ. Well, they're talking about, a man can be a woman. Well, what? That's not even a root of anything. You're talking nonsense right now. We could tell that you're trying to manipulate us, and you also manipulated yourself because you believed this nonsense. Yep. Make sense? Yeah. Good question though. Did that girl create a TikTok?
Yeah, she's pretty
like
violent.
to-
Her name, she's oh my gosh, she's a funny girl. She's from New York. Send
me that after. I want to do a reaction to her video. We're gonna give her a little bit of clout for that. We're gonna do a reaction to that one. Someone had their hands up. Oh yeah, you did. What you got?
Yeah, I wanted to ask, since we were like going back and forth, so I wanted to know, what are ways in a relationship that a couple can build trust and respect for each other?
Pastor?
I mean, I think that you got to start from the beginning. I understand your view of vulnerability, because it's absolutely possible for men and women. And it's one of the saddest things I've seen, where people they're no longer their best self. Like, you were a better you for a worse dude. And now you're making this new dude pay the back tax for the last dude that was crap.
That's why I
And
said
you were
that
actually
I'm
more,
healed. I'm
vulnerable,
healed.
or you actually served more, or you made sandwiches for that dude. But then after that dude cheated on
Start
you,
to put
you're
up
like,
walls.
now I'm not making sandwiches no more. Now you meet a dude that's actually worth a sandwich, but you won't make it. So I think that you do have to trust again. You have to forgive. That's what you were talking about. You gotta let them go, because they ain't even thinking about you. You're just holding on, and you're only hurting yourself.
And it's been more peace for myself too.
More peace for you, no doubt. And I think you do have to be able to share, and you have to be open and honest. And I think that you have to find someone that you see the world in a similar way. So like when you were talking about the polygamy guy, it's like, well, if you know from the beginning that's not going to work for you, then you got to be honest up front at the beginning, because if you can agree about those things, then it'll help. But it's harder when, you don't trust and you don't believe. And now, you're starting to get shook about yourself, and you settled. So I think that it's important to share. It's important to talk. A lot of the things that we talked about right here, it's important to be upfront and to be honest about where you are. But I also think that one of the things that's important too is,
But what are some of the ways that they could do it? That's what I mean.
like, you need to be careful not to write too much in ink. Like, write in pencil. Like dudes like to feel like, hey, like, this is where you are right now. Like, make your plans. But let's be honest, if you meet the right dude and he's got the right stuff going on,
Gotta erase that.
you'll be able to erase that. But
Don't set it in stone.
if it's too set in stone, then
it's not gonna.
not the kind of guy you want. Because if you want a guy that's got his own money, his own power, his own life, his own drive, his own purpose, then he's going to want you to come along with him on that journey. And so, if you want to maintain your flexibility, because that's what you all want. We said it earlier, like women think they want to be in charge till they're really in charge. And when you really become in charge, you're a little boy, and you're not really interested in a little boy. You're interested in a grown man. And so, but for that guy to come, he has to feel like, I get it. Like, you're coming out of this bad situation, but you've healed, so you're good. So if I'm asking you to come along with me, you're not like, yeah, but I did that the last time. So I think that that's a big thing, you know, for women to be healed within yourself. What you're saying is really good. You got to be healed within yourself.
Yeah, you have to.
Because no one can heal you but you and God, and that's important.
And that's a good analogy he made, the pencil and the eraser. You want to write things in, well, pretty much you said ink and then pencil. You want to write things in pencil sometimes for a woman, because if you write things in ink, you become more hardened. And a man doesn't want a hardened woman. He doesn't want a masculine woman. He wants a woman that's going to let down her guard and be vulnerable, because we accept a woman being vulnerable, and not only that's what we want the woman to be. You feel what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. And writing things in pencil, like he said, then you wrote it down. That was up for that man. But that pencil got an eraser on it. You meet that new dude, you had them walls up. Oh, okay. You're going to erase this for the new dude. You're going to put them walls down. Yeah. So, and it's funny is because usually when a woman goes through something and experience adversities and some trauma and some heartache from a man or from anything, in some way, shape, or form, it hardens her and it makes her more masculine to some degree. To some degree, it does. And I talked about it before on the podcast. You may not agree with it, but when you look at it from a man's point of view, we want the softest, feminine, sweetest, kind-hearted. We walk through the door, she's bubbly, she's giggly. That's what makes us feel great. We want to be the superhero in this story. So when a woman experiences things, and even if she overcame those things, now meaning that she's healed, but when she gets with the new guy, she got them walls up. So exactly like he said, you really need to write it down. That was good. Can I steal that one? Yeah, I'm gonna steal that one. Write it down in pencil instead of ink, because then you can erase that. You don't have to have those walls up and be so masculine and be a man. We want a woman.
And that's the thing for me. Every relationship that I've been in, I always seem to go into it with a clean slate.
That's good.
And I've made sure that I'm aware of that, because I don't like to bring that emotional baggage into my next relationship. And I've been through some bad relationships. You know, I've been physically, emotionally, mentally abused, and yet I still go into the next relationship the same way, clean slate. You know what? I'm not gonna punish him for what he did.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And I'll speak about it briefly about a biological way that a woman really can't fully she can overcome the traumas and adversities, but the man, he just views it differently. Yeah. Because when a man experiences adversities and trauma, well, normally all human beings, we have to adjust. So how do we adjust? We're usually a little bit more non-agreeable. Well, usually when something happened to you, you were agreeable too much. Usually then you take on another characteristic trait of being more assertive. Well, okay, that didn't happen right for me. Let me assert myself more. Then maybe a little bit more dominant, because you don't want to be dominated like you was before and taken advantage of like you was before. So all human beings take on these characteristic traits when they go through things, adversities and trauma. It just so happens to be that when a man takes on these characteristic traits, when he's overcoming things, he's a more masculine man. He went through something, and the woman views it. I'm just saying that the woman views it as more masculine. He's more dominant, more assertive, more non-agreeable. He can lead the right way. You trust this man. You'll trust him with your life. But guess what? The woman takes on those same characteristic traits too. The man just doesn't view it the same. We view it as, God dang, you more masculine. You trying to be like me. Calm down a little bit. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So the thing is that what you can't escape, and no woman can escape it. When you go through things, and you do overcome it, it's inevitable that you will take on some more masculine traits. But Pastor Andy did give some gems. He said, if you write in pencil and not in pen, that'll help you out. Yeah. So yeah. Anybody else?
What if what advice would you have if you erase too much?
What you mean? No boundaries?
Like if you go in, if you've been through something and then you go into the next relationship and you go in with the clean slate.
Well, you want to have discernment. You want to have discernment. Discernment is the ability to make good judgment. So yeah, you want to, and you gather that. The way to have discernment, to make a discerned decision and choices and things, is you have to be more disciplined. Think about it. If I'm not disciplined, if I'm smoking, masturbating, drinking, I'm always going out to the club, well, I really can't trust I can't trust my own actions, so therefore I can't trust my own choices that I'm really making. Because I'm making bad choices. So then I'll choose a more masculine woman. I'll choose the girl that's on the stripper pole. I'll choose the girl that's doing OnlyFans. I'll choose those type of women because I lack the discipline within myself. And we always tend to project. So I'm saying this. How you overcome that part is you have to be more disciplined yourself. If you are more disciplined, guess what? If you're a pure woman and you know that you weren't doing these things, normally we all project. You want what's in yourself almost. You want the morality that you hold in yourself. And you want this man to embody those same moral characteristic traits. So if you're immoral, obviously you're going to attract and accept another immoral person.
What if it's almost like you're fooled? Like they put on a mask for so long and
discernment.
I was going to say that's discernment.
Yeah, that's discernment. So that's just, once again, if you're disciplined, right? The more disciplined you are, and then also if you look at your own experiences, meaning that memories is only for one thing. Memories, when we have a memory, is for one thing, is to extract lessons learned. It's not to dwell on negative emotions and whatever else is going on. Extract lessons learned. So when you experience life, you extract the lesson learned, and then that creates discernment there. That's opening up the discernment box for you. Then you put in you being disciplined. Well, god dang, you'll know when this dude is lying, talking about he's single when he's really married. The way he conveys himself and stuff like that, you'll pick up on the red flags. The way he's incongruent in things, you'll pick up on all these things because you embody good characteristic traits yourself.
That's deep. No, that was deep.
I have a question for the pastor. I had asked you this earlier. I know that it speaks about being drunk in the Bible and that not. I don't even know if that's a sin.
You can see your question?
Yes, smoking.
Okay.
Is smoking, because you always talk about, they're saying like smoking. I guess anything that misconstrues your better judgment, I guess, is maybe where the sin comes in. But like, is smoking really a sin? Because I am a woman of God. I love God. I've rid myself of a lot of things, but smoking for me, I don't see myself ever stopping that. But I just want to make sure that I'm.
What kind of smoking though? Like
weed.
Okay.
She's smoking that marijuana.
Yes, I do. I smoke a lot. I do, but it doesn't deter me from doing the right things. I'm still functioning. I still get up and pray. I still move right. I'm still a righteous woman. I still, I'm still doing the right thing. So it's like, is that a sin? Like, is it written in the Bible as that?
I think what the Bible is really determined that you do is that you treat yourself as a temple, and that you're serious about nothing ruling you. That's really what it is. Okay. And what happens is that within different cultures, we're going to apply it in different ways, because not every culture looks down on even alcohol. Right. Okay. And even if you really are serious, even in the biblical culture, they did not. Jesus' first miracle was to turn water into wine. Yeah. And if you look at the actual miracle itself, it's like normally they give everybody the best wine at the beginning of the feast. Then when everybody's drunk, then they bring out the cheap stuff. So Jesus makes the best wine at the end. So clearly, we're not talking about juice. We're talking about wine. We're talking about intoxication. That's a part of it. The Bible is saying in excess. In excess. Okay? That's what I thought. Okay. But the same scriptures that focus on being careful about alcohol also want you to be careful about food. They want you to be careful about anything that might rule you ultimately.
Idolize, right?
That's right. Yeah, so because you don't want, we're all of us are, the real us is not this flesh that we're sitting here looking at. The real us is a spirit, and you're in this body. It's like Avatar. You came down the pipe and you woke up and you're in this body, and you don't want that body to rule you. So my thing with weed is that sometimes weed rules people to the place where it robs them of all of their drive. It robs them of all of their. Alcohol could do the same thing, but any substance can rob you of the thing that makes you be like, okay, the angst that makes you go on and do more. And that's the thing you really have to be careful about. And so, in a lot of young people, I do see that, where it's kind of like weed makes them not care. It makes them stop caring. And during a time when they should be, like, I have young sons, and my young sons got caught up in weed for a little bit. A couple of my sons, and they're straight now. But it was almost like they got caught up in weed during a time when they should be afraid. They should be stressed. because they ain't got nothing, because they broke,
Yeah.
because they're not in their purpose, because they ain't got no money. So they should be stressed by that, and they shouldn't escape it, you know. And I've kind of teased like weed is for when you're 80, but all I'm saying is that I think that it's important that nothing rule you. That's the most important thing.
Like,
That's the
because I
eternal
smoke
truth.
before I go to the gym.
The eternal truth is not to be ruled. by
Okay,
it.
so I'm good then.
Not to be
God still love me. We good.
You only know you good if you could live without it.
That's right.
Would you be your happiest self, and not just happy? Would you feel at peace with yourself if you didn't smoke weed?
Yeah, I'd be good without it.
Okay.
I've gone periods without smoking. Like, I'll make myself stop a couple weekends. Like, I'll go a few weekends without it. So yeah, I can stop. That's not an issue for me. It's just that I don't feel like people, like, you know, religious folks will tell you that's a sin. You drinking, you smoking, you know, and it's like, well, no, because like you said, God turned water into wine, you know. So it's like, and they say it's like in excess, you know, doing things in excess and idolizing things. So I think that's where the sin comes in, just making something your idol, or where, like you said, where you come to the point where you're not caring, you're just not doing the right things because of you doing drugs or whatever. So
we also make rules for the masses. You have to understand that. It's kind of like we can take a look at the masses, and if we look at the mass effect of alcohol, it's why they outlawed it. Because we make it the mass effect of alcohol when we're talking about drunk driving and abuse against women and all the stuff that happens with women or with alcohol, period. It just makes anyone, a society or a church, say it's no alcohol at all, because they look at what it does to the masses, not necessarily to the individual people.
Yeah.
And so I think that with that in mind, yeah, you know, weed can be a problem. And then if it's not legal in certain places, then folks are mixing stuff in it, and, you know, it's not regulated. And so it can bring trouble down the line. Right. You know?
Yeah, anything can be abused in life.
That's right.
Welfare was abused, meaning that women started, you know, they made the government their man instead of making their actual man their man. They cooked the man out for the government. They married the government instead of their man. So they abused the system. We all know people that get food stamps that they got a boyfriend that's living in the crib and he paying rent and stuff like that. Systems get abused. So the thing that I truly think, and I agree with everything the pastor said, it has to be a balance, and you have to do things in a righteous way. I think that in the scriptures of when, just my perspective on it, when God turned water into wine, those were people that had good morals. I'm sure he wouldn't have turned water into wine if people was immoral. You get what I'm saying? So if you are good and you are on your job, right? Okay.
have
Take
a
a day
little
off.
wine.
Relax.
Right, have a little wine. Have a little.
If you're not there, and I think men and women are different. Like he was explaining with his son, I think that a man, he needs to be on his purpose before he do anything. He said weed should be for people when they're 80. I truly believe that too. Like smoke some. I never smoked a day in my life. I don't even have the urge to do it. So even when I'm 80, if I have $1 million, I still won't do it because I just don't have any urge to do it. I don't even know how to smoke. So when it comes to that, it's like, yeah, some things. And you also got to worry about the person of who you are, because you're fine with it. You're not addicted. You say that you're not addicted. We'll see. Let's try to don't do it for 2 months. Let's see if you'll be fine.
I would be fine, but I don't want to.
You don't want to. So here's what I'm saying.
That's just the honest truth.
You got to understand the person you are, because we have many men that watch this podcast. If you have an addictive nature already, weed isn't for you. Drinking isn't for you. All of watching porn isn't for you. I mean, that's not for anyone anyway. But because it's a higher probability that you're going to become a victim and you're going to be ruled by that vice. But you got something. What's up?
I just want to say, as a person who quit smoking weed and understands chemical that it does in your brain and how you have withdrawals just like any other thing, I just made the conscious choice of, like, if I want to be the woman and I want to get to a place where, you know, I'm constantly being able to keep pushing myself and growing, then I can't keep taking breaks to smoke a blunt every time I get stressed out. Or, like, you know, my big thing is like family. Have a son. I don't want to have him alone so I can go and like relax and unwind after a long day. Like, I want to be able to be there actively with my child. And I think when it comes to certain stuff, depending on where you want to go in life, then weed can rob you of certain things that are very important. And those are moments that you only get once. Like, would I rather see my child grow up, or would I rather be stuck in my room smoking every single time? So
Facts, absolutely. And that's subjective to you, but I don't have kids and I'm still able to,
yeah.
like I said, I smoke before I go to the gym. You know, like in the car, I'll smoke the blunt and I'm still inside for 2 hours working out. So it doesn't derail me from my goals.
Not affecting you? Fair
Not
enough.
at all.
Before I get to the super chats, anyone else on this topic or no?
This topic, no, but I just wanted to ask a question.
Can you hold it, or you want to get
I
to?
think so.
Okay.
If I remember.
Is it a question for the whole panel or for us?
Also for you guys.
Okay, you go ahead and ask it.
The question is, how would you feel if you went on a date with a woman and, you know, she's independent? Sorry. You went on a date with a woman and she's independent. She takes care of herself. However, she would prefer to be a housewife, and she expresses that. How would you feel?
You go first, Andy. You the guest.
I mean, I'm from a generation where it was kind of like, if you a dude and you're on your game, in a way, that's what you expect. Like, you're almost a little bit, and I'm from a different time, but you're almost a little bit like, your woman has to work, like, yo, what's wrong with you? Like, if I'm somewhere, I'm on a plane or at a Cracker Barrel or any restaurant, and I see a really fine woman working, I'm like, wow, sweetheart, don't nobody love you? Like, that's just a part of what it is for me. It's kinda like,
I think that's a
how I feel
Caribbean
about it.
culture too.
I feel like if you want, I would be embarrassed. Like, it would shame me to my shoes, and it would make me be like, yo, I don't want gravity pulling on you. Like, I'd rather you just. That's me though. That's the generation we came from. I think the younger generation is like the guys kind of want everything. We kind of didn't. We were like, if you're gonna be home, then that's good. But I have a different expectation of you. So that means I gotta do what I gotta do. Mm-hmm. I think the younger guys have been raised a bit more with the idea of, well, women are gonna have money and they're gonna make money and they're gonna bring stuff to the table and they're gonna have power too. And now they're looking for the dual incomes, et cetera, et cetera. So some of that has changed just as a result of the expectation of the generations. But I think
the economy.
That too. That's another
too
thing
hard
to think about as well.
No doubt
need
about
two
it.
Sources of income.
He's gonna have to be above and beyond someone from your time. No disrespect.
No doubt. But what I'm saying is that I had to think about that too. So then I had to think about what I made. I also had to think about my investments. I had to think about what kind of car I was going to drive. I had to think about how I was going to save. I had to think about having real estate. I knew I couldn't do it just on my own. So I had to figure out, okay, how are all the ways that I'm going to do this? Because that was the standard that was set for me as a man in a sense. Now, no shade for people that are working together as a partnership. But if, I think that it is a gauntlet that's laid down, and you're more from that. What's your perspective on it? I'm curious about.
Oh yeah, I agree with yours.
Oh, okay.
I'm 35, man. Yeah, so my woman doesn't pay for anything at all. I'm the man of the house. I take care of the bills. She doesn't have to work. So if a woman came to me and said, "Hey, I want to be at home and stay at home mom," great, that's good. You aren't influenced by the feminism, independent boss babe, perfect. So it just works better that way. Gender roles is a thing, and women need to know their role, and men need to know their role too. A nuclear family is the backbone of this country. That's the facts. The nuclear family built the country, along with hundreds of years ago with the slaves and stuff like that too. But the nuclear family pushed it forward, and this was before the 60s. So a man that's out there working and allowing, you got to think about it. If you're having kids, well, why would the woman work and the man work, and you allow someone else to instill behaviors and traits into your own kids at a young age? That's nonsense.
That's why I asked.
You should have the woman stay at home. Now, if the man is capable enough, he should take on that role, because that is his role, to protect them and to provide. If he isn't there yet, of course you can negotiate something where it's like, okay, you do this here. I think the man should still lead it. And once I get this business going on here, or I get this job or this raises income, then you're going to be back home. Like you said, the economy sucks right now. Inflation is happening. Every man out there isn't going to be financially stable like myself and Andy. You may have to take a dude that maybe is going 50-50 with you. Mm-hmm. But if you can attract a man, it's all about what you can attract, because you're all women and you advertise yourself and men approach. So if you have the ability to attract a more higher tier man, and of course, tears comes with morality. Tears comes with finances. Tears come with, physique and a lot of things. But if we're talking about finances, if you can attract a man that is financially stable, then go ahead and take that. But the thing is, it's women that don't. They like, I don't see these men. They're out there.
No, they are.
The little young girl who's attracting them. The little girl that came from the 2-family household and wasn't, traumatized by her uncle or by her ex-boyfriend. Well, she's attracting those men because she's more pure. She's more innocent. She has some innocence about her, and she's more capable of following a man's lead. So a man that built something and has something to his name, he wants someone to follow his lead, not someone to be in competition with. Usually men that are bringing value to the world, well, we want peace. So we want a woman to follow our lead and get on our program, not the other way around.
But what if the woman wants to build with you?
Totally fine. If the woman, is not a dictatorship.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's you compromise.
Yeah.
You speak about things, but the man is still the leader. So I would say that working for a woman should be optional if the man is capable of providing that financial stability. If he isn't incapable of it, then it's like, all right, she got no choice but to work. As far as the woman having hobbies and things that she wants to do, if the man is providing that much comfortability for her, idle hands, Pastor, does the devil's work. So I think women shouldn't even just be not doing anything. They need to be doing something. If you're not bearing children and taking care of children and teaching our children good things and instilling good things in them, well, then what else you going to be doing? Sitting at home, watching Hollywood Housewives, texting another dude, scrolling on Instagram, replying to some DMs? Idle hands does the devil's work. So that woman, if she's not bearing your kids or taking for kids at home, she needs to be doing something. And that man needs to know this and give her some hobbies. Do this or help out with the business. I got this going on. Assist.
Teamwork.
I was gonna say that.
The teamwork makes the dream work. So if you got a team and that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's not just because when
I said that last time.
Right. Because when you're working for other
But
people.
you guys
wife
not
is
agree.
a helpmate.
That's right.
That's like our role. So like even when I date a guy, I feel like if you don't, I know it sounds weird, but I feel like if you don't tell me what position you need me to play, then I feel like I'm fucking useless. Oh, can I cuss? It's past 10 minutes. Right?
Oh yeah, it's been past 10 minutes.
First cuss word. Yeah. I feel like I'm useless, because I'm like, why am I here?
Yeah.
Hello.
And that's what I was saying downstairs. Like I've been in relationships to where I was cooking, I was cleaning, I was doing the traditional things that a woman is supposed to do. But now
You chose the wrong man.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest issue, that I was doing these things for the wrong men.
Yep.
For the wrong men.
But I also I know high value men too who are like, no, they don't have any problem with their woman working. They just don't want to be in competition with that. That's the thing. So it's kind of like, if I don't need your money, but you're doing something that's for real and that I believe in, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
But I just don't want to be in competition with it. I don't want to be last behind it. And I think that right now there's an expectation.
The woman needs to put the man first.
There's an
The
expectation.
man puts the career first.
I want
If
an
it goes
alpha.
the other
I've
way
always said
around,
that. Yeah.
it's all going.
I want that alpha
But there's almost
type
a pressure.
of male. Yeah,
there's almost
always.
a pressure now for guys to be okay with that. Like they're supposed to be second or third behind your career or whatever.
Yeah, down.
And I think the alpha dudes aren't down with that. But there are dudes who are completely, totally secure in what they are doing and who they are. They don't have no problems with your career as long as it doesn't come nigh them. As long as it doesn't affect them from getting the things that they feel like they need.
Yeah.
So
merch plug. Hey man, click the link in the description. We got the merch just dropped, man. You got to see the No Fugazee shirts. You got the logo right there. You see the God over man, man over woman, woman over children. That is the order of life. So yeah, the man, he puts his career first, because by putting his career first, the woman and the family receives the benefit of it. When the woman puts her career first over the man, well, she should be taking care of them kids, and she should be putting her man first. So it's the order is all off balance.
Here's a question for you. And I was actually asked this before. How would you feel if the woman, like, if she was the breadwinner, like, would you be okay with the woman being like the breadwinner and you just being like the stay-at-home husband?
I mean, me, myself, and I personally, I wouldn't even that or deal with in work. I'm so assertive and so ambitious that let's say if I met a woman that was out there working and doing things, like, you got to think about it. All human beings, besides if you're on OnlyFans, besides if you're selling your sexuality and making fast money, you need some type of skill that then builds character. So normally, to make $100,000 a year, only 20% of the population make that. Why do you think that is? Is because it's hard to do. You have to be assertive. You have to be incompetent. You have to be comfortable being uncomfortable because you're in competition with other people and you're trying to outcompete them. Maybe it's for a law firm. Maybe it's for even going through school to get your bachelor's degree, to become a nurse, and things like that. You're competing with other individuals, and the people that outcompete people is only 20% of the population. The average salary is between $40,000 to $50,000 a year. So I'm saying that when a woman is making a whole lot of money, let's say she's making $500,000 a year, the honest way, I know that she had to build up some type of characteristics within herself. And I'm saying that I wouldn't even be attracted to those women anyway. That's just the facts of it. If she's not selling her sexuality and getting it the fast way, or if she's not like an actress and got it some type of way where it's not sexuality anyway. So when we look at it, it's like, well, the type of man I am, and if we're both doing honest work, it's going to be a higher probability that I'm going to be making more than a woman anyway. So
you just think that it's just more masculine if a woman's making more money?
No, it's not it's how you make it. So in order to make money, you need to build character. Like to get I got my first $100,000 in the bank, not just making it, but in the bank. When I first seen the $100,000, the 6 figures in the bank account, it took a lot of, I was in sales industry. So think about it. Most industries, you need to compete to make 100K or above that. So even if you're being most women are in nursing, but they make about 60 to 70, maybe $80,000. Okay. If you want to compete, guess what? You're going to go back and become a nurse practitioner. So guess what? That's going to take more classes for you to do. That's going to take more character is building. Now you got to be a little bit more assertive because you're asserting yourself. Now you got to be a little bit more non-agreeable because it's like, nah, forget about what everyone else is doing. I know what I'm doing. So you're building your character as the time continues. On your growth, you're building character. I'm just saying that the character that it takes to make a lot of money like that usually are masculine characteristic traits when it's not a woman just getting fast money from sexualizing herself. And masculine men, we're not attracted to ourselves. We want a feminine woman. And usually feminine women, they're a little bit more docile, a little bit more agreeable. So the feminine women usually, in most cases, and there's always exceptions to the rule, but usually those aren't the boss babes out there, the career woman that's out there really going to get the bag to make like that much money. So, yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. Let's get to the super chats because they piling up, and we got the big ballers in here. We got Jose Rodriguez sends in $5. My man, you are part of the membership too. Appreciate you, bro. We got William Ray sends in $10. Ladies, would you rather be in the woods alone with a man or a bear? That's a good one.
Oh my God.
Would you rather be alone with a man or a bear?
Yeah. Good question. Let's start with you. Yeah, so I'll just repeat it real quick so everyone hears it. Ladies, would you rather be in the woods alone with a man or with a bear?
I would say a man, but my answer is only because I'm bigger than the average girl. I'm 5'9", 200 pounds. So I feel like if a man tried to attack me, I could probably take him versus a bear, I can't. But that's the only reason. If I was like 5'4", I would probably say a bear. Honestly.
I'm 5'4".
I'm sorry.
I think I'm going to go with a man regardless because
Shorter than that.
if I'm getting attacked from either way, I'm not going to survive. So I'm going to take the chance with the man that he's going to protect me rather than just die by the bear because I'm going to die by the bear anyway. So if the man ends up being bad and killing me, it's going to happen anyway by the bear. So I might as well take the 50-50 shot.
What about you?
I'd rather be alone, but if I had to choose, I'll do a man. Just because, like she said, I could potentially do something, hurt his balls or something.
Yeah, if it gets to that point.
If it gets to
What about you?
Yeah, because you can't outrun a bear. I could outrun a man.
It don't make sense.
So, yeah. The man.
What about you?
Definitely the man. Yeah.
What about you?
The man, I'll talk him out of it.
Okay. Now, it's funny when this question is asked, right, ladies? It says that would you rather be in the woods alone with a man or a bear? You all chose man. It's a good answer. But the reason for why you chose man is because you looked at it from a very disdain way. You thought that, well, the man is a predator just like the bear is a predator. So I would say that kind of changed the way you view men, because then you would, it's like the answer wouldn't have been like, well, I can outrun a man. Well, if I'm bigger than most men, it would have been, I'll choose a man because a man can protect me.
Well, she said that.
But
She
there
said
was no
possibly the man
there was no
could protect
danger
her.
in the question. So what are we being protected
well,
from?
here's what this is what I'm saying. You instilled danger by saying that you can outrun a man, by saying that you can beat a man. You
We are
instilled the
preying
danger.
to men.
So this is what I'm saying. The fact that this is a trick question, is a good question, but I'm saying that you're looking at the man in a very disdain way, and you instilled the danger yourself.
I'm instilling danger from the bear and the man.
I
Fair
agree
enough.
with the perspective.
And guess what?
but
You know what?
You just said to use discernment, and unfortunately, as a woman, a lot of times when you're in these type of positions with men by yourself and you are left vulnerable, it usually doesn't end up too good for us. Not necessarily that we're always physically attacked. It could be emotionally. It could be condescending. All these different things that have negative side effects. So I do understand that perspective, that it sucks that we have this negative aspect
of a
of men,
man.
especially
Yeah.
someone like me who loves my dad and I'm like a daddy's girl. I don't view all men like that. I would
Yeah.
hope a woman would choose my dad over a bear, but at the same time, we don't know, right? We have no way to find out if this man is pure or not. So based off of that 50-50, we have to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
You know?
I understand that, and all I'm saying is this: it's very simple. I understand that you have to, protect yourself. Think about it. Let's peel back the layer and get to the root. The root cause. The root cause. The reason why you think and you feel that you have to protect yourself is because you've experienced before you think something, you were influenced to think away. So what influences you? Your experiences and your five senses: seeing, touching, hearing, tasting, and smelling. Maybe you heard your mother say something bad about a man. Maybe you watched something and something was bad about a man. So you were influenced to have this disdain view of a man based off of what you haven't even experienced. So I'm saying that if we peel back all the layers, it's just funny how the woman would get so defensive and say, well, if I'm in the woods, I'm gonna choose the man, but even though I'm gonna be running, maybe I can outrun him, maybe I can outfight him.
He's a stranger.
I get what you're saying, but I'm saying that I'm giving you the reason why you've even chose those answers.
I
That's
chose
why.
that answer because I've been in a situation where
your
I've had
experiences.
a stranger be provocative and vulgar and crude with me in a public setting, more or less in a private setting like the woods where it's just me and them.
Like, why you
So
following me?
again, back to your point about using discernment and making sure I don't put myself in that position, why would I chance it?
No, I think it's a good choice. I think y'all all made the best choice. But remember when we spoke about this, all is going to cycle back together of what we're speaking about. Because remember when we spoke about how when a woman experiences adversities and trauma, I said that she doesn't overcome it. It just makes her more masculine. She's a little bit more cautious. She's a little bit more non-agreeable. She's a little bit more dominant. And guess what? All of you ladies everyone's above 30 or higher 20s. You've all experienced life and stuff like that. So when you go through things, it's hard to overcome it. We've proven it right here within the reason why you chose the man. Choosing the man was the right answer.
What would you choose?
Reason, what'd you say?
What would you choose and why?
Any human being, the right answer would be to be in the woods with another human being. You don't want to be in there with a bear.
But what's your reason? If you had to choose between a man and a bear,
It's
what
very
would be your
simple. It's because
perspective?
the bear, no human being can outrun a bear. And then
up to 40
also,
miles
the
an hour.
bear is not. You can negotiate your way in with any human being.
That's what I said.
You get what I'm saying?
But your perspective was negative initially,
no, it's not
right?
even negative. It's not negative. I'm saying that you said, "Why did I choose the bear?" You didn't say why didn't I choose a man?
I said why. I want to know your perspective as to why you didn't choose the man or chose the man. Instead
Okay,
of the
now
bear.
that's a different question.
Okay.
Okay, so why I choose the man is because that's a good situation for me and this man. I'm in the woods, man. This nigga can help me build a fire, help me clean some water.
Is that your first
I got more
thought?
help. That is my first thought. I'm in the woods alone.
Stranger with in the
It's like
woods, you're
this.
Like, let's
if
build a
I'm
fire.
if I'm in the woods alone,
No way.
I know that okay, it's another man. Okay, let me go. Hey, what's going on, brother? Hey, you out here alone? I'm trying to find my place back here, or whatever the situation is. Maybe I'm already good. Maybe if I'm just camping.
I agree you
What
would
about you,
approach
Pastor?
him, but I
What's your
also agree
I'm not
that
looking
you'd
at
be
it negative.
cautious.
Okay.
I've actually.
You would be cautious though with
I've
your
actually-
approach.
You would be cautious,
You would not
though.
walk up
No.
to him like, "Yo,
No.
What up, buddy?
No one's saying that I wouldn't be cautious. No one's saying that. It's about how I view the man. It's all about how I view the man. I view the man as another man because I am a man.
That's
Like
fair.
this is a situation where it's like, dang, this is good. Yo, come on over, man. Let's cook some
Remember when you
s'mores
said
together.
that when men get emotional, they act out aggressively versus women just yelling.
Yes.
So I feel like that is also part of the reason why we think in that way with men, because if it goes wrong with him, if it's another girl, I'm gonna just yell at her. But if a guy gets mad, it's like, oh shit, let me fucking, I don't know what's gonna happen. He might flip off. I don't know. It's the same.
But if
type
that's
of
the
concept.
case, then women, y'all wouldn't be putting y'all hands on a man. Y'all all said in here, if that's the case and that is true, you wouldn't have put your hands on a man
Even
because
in
you
defense?
know,
Different.
listen, because you know the damage and the carnal nature that a man can bring upon you.
Even in
so
defense.
if that is
The
true,
guy I was
I'm gonna
dealing
defend
with.
myself.
I think that's
But
different.
listen,
The guy I was
That's
dealing
different.
with.
That's checkmate.
So I
It's not
knew
a
the
checkmate because the
No.
circumstances, the
I
woods.
knew I could smack him.
That's
because
the
he was to touch
circumstance.
me.
no.
You
Let's
can't
let's
take
put it
that
together,
out
ladies.
of it. The circumstances, the
Ladies,
woods.
let's put it together. Let's put it together. I'm just using your worldview and your logic back on you. I granted all of you the right choice is the man. I'm not disputing that. You said the right thing. Y'all getting defensive for the wrong reason.
We're not defensive.
No, not defensive.
Okay,
no.
cool. So get this ism. So all I'm saying is the reason why you chose the man, y'all gave y'all reasons. I just am acknowledging all the reasons was because y'all look at a man disdain way. Y'all look at the man as a predator, the lesser of the evil. Then you ask me, I wouldn't be looking at another man as the lesser of the evil of a bear. The bear is eagle. The man is a man. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. So what about you, Pastor?
See, I think that this is a part, and I don't want to totally take it to a whole nother. I think this is a part of my issue a little bit with the transgender stuff. Is that I don't really know if you can really know what it's like to be a woman. We're both sitting here. We're men.
Got you. That's
if
what
we
you mean.
walk through a parking lot, we're not necessarily but by the very nature of being a woman your whole life, you're in the woods. You have to think about protecting yourself at a certain level. There's a way that you think about yourself at a certain level of vulnerability. We can sit here and be we're right to be critical of it to a certain extent, but the truth of the matter is that I have daughters. This is what you were raised to do, to be careful.
Stranger
Somebody
danger.
will know if we see somebody in the woods, we're gonna be cautious too, but we're gonna be like, dude, can you cut wood? Okay, because I can make a fire. Because we're a guy,
Right.
So we aren't necessarily raised to be afraid
fearful,
or fearful. Whereas when you all get out of a parking lot, when you all leave here tonight, and you
We're
go
gonna run to
the
the car.
you're gonna want to go
They're gonna be
together. We're gonna be like, y'all gotta walk around by ourselves.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
some of that is in the nature of just your vulnerability as
A
human
woman.
beings. And so I think that in a sense, that's a part of being you. And as much as my heart goes out to people who have that feeling, I'm not trying to judge them or any shade on them, but I just don't know if you can really know, as a guy, I don't know if you can really know what that really feels like, what it really means to have that level of vulnerability every day. And you know, I think the thing that's interesting is, and you said it earlier, that it is, women do take a risk. You're 5'4". It's a risk for you to go on a date with this giant dude right here and get in his car with
I
your
like to
little
say I'm
collarbone.
Right. I be telling my mom that, like, you ain't never got to worry about
It
me.
is a risk.
I'm not
But still, it takes
Three dudes.
It takes a lot of faith.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of belief. It is literally like us sitting in a car with a bear. Would
Yeah.
I go on a date with a bear? No, I would not. So, in a sense, just with how you were raised, so I think it's a tough question to pose to you because, you know, I've been in the woods and seen a bear, and believe me,
Me too.
people who struggle with that have never really seen a bear.
Yeah.
Because bears are scary.
Did he not supposed to chase you?
Even
Right?
if you have a gun in your hand,
It's
a
a
bear
thing
is
still.
scary.
Yeah, they're
So,
beautiful.
you know,
Yeah. I would probably pet him. Not gonna lie.
No, you
wouldn't be
No,
able
you
to,
gotta
girl.
stay
You gonna bite
still.
your head
You
off.
ain't petting shit.
The only bear you've
I'm
ever
not
seen is a
moving.
bear in a zoo and they're tired of sleeping.
Right.
You see a bear in the actual woods, there's something that it runs through you.
Yeah,
For real.
it's funny. I actually used to volunteer for a big cat sanctuary, and there was this bear, a female. She would every time I got near her cage, she would literally reach her paw, literally trying to grab me through the cage. Yeah, they're.
You want to pet it.
I would feed her like little cakes. It was
Anybody
cute.
else on this bear topic? No? Cool. Let's get on to the next super chat. So we got let's see here. We got Chris Butler sends in $10. If you were actually stuck in the woods with a bear and you were hiding from it, you see a man nearby, would you ask him for help?
That's a
if
good
so,
question.
That's actually a
why
really good question.
choose
I like this
bear?
one better.
Oh, well, this is different. This is for the people that if you chose bear.
Oh, well.
So if you chose bear, then he's elaborating on. So we're
Okay.
good. Yo, appreciate the support, Chris Butler. We have Jose Rodriguez sends in $10. Appreciate the support, man. Ladies, what is one thing you can change in your life and experience to attract a high quality man, and what would you do to keep them? Cooley, bye, bro. Great. Cooley, by the way, bro. Great content. Much respect. Appreciate the support, man. So, first question, I guess we can start over here with you.
Something I could change about myself. I feel like there's a lot of things I could change about myself, but maybe to not take criticism so personal.
Fair enough. What about you?
Honestly, I think I need to
Wait.
Okay.
It says to attract a high value man, right?
Yeah.
Is that the question?
Something that you can change in your life and experience to attract a high quality man. So you said what?
To not take things so personal. So when he's trying to correct me, I would listen, take it in, and not.
Okay, be a little bit more able to follow the man's lead and a little bit more agreeable.
Right.
Okay, fair enough. I guess that's good. But it's talking about attract. I'll leave you with that because that's more so in a relationship. So yeah, actually, let's switch up. Give me another answer. What would you do to attract them? Because that's what you would do to retain him.
I could lose 30 pounds.
Okay,
No.
lose 30 pounds to attract them. Fair enough. Good answer. What about?
Kind of
No, because you have some men that like thicker women. So no, you can't say that either. No,
Well,
there are high
value-
value men that like
Very
thicker
rarely,
women.
though. They
Well,
usually like
yeah.
that kind of fit.
Well, then
They're like the model
so
type.
then
Appearance,
that's
though.
so then.
I think it's just based on appearance.
Parents.
Like,
But,
they're-
and that's
like
my
that's
thing.
what-
So then, like we were talking about earlier, so then that jumps into me being a more muscular woman. Then, not many men are into that. But I will say this: I think I've probably attracted more high value men than I have men that are just like no good. What I probably would change, like maybe about myself. Honestly, I guess the way I dress, maybe.
Okay,
Like,
the way you dress.
Yeah, because I do attract high value men. I actually do. I've dated men that were making like literally in the millions.
So
But
my question is, if you attracted those men, why couldn't you retain them?
the reason why I couldn't retain because we just didn't. I guess I don't.
Men give the key to relationships. You give the key to sex. So if you attracted them, right? It's incumbent upon you to retain that man after you gave sex. Those millionaires, men and stuff like that, did you give sex?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you granted access sex and they didn't grant access relationship, that means that you didn't qualify for a
No, 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 no,
relationship.
no, 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 no.
I'll explain why.
No,
Let me
wait, but-
I'll explain real quick. And then
Okay.
correct me if you
Yeah, 'cause-
have
yeah, 'cause
a
you have
point
to-
of
you
contention.
gotta switch that
I'll make
around.
it make
Okay,
sense to
go
you.
ahead.
For example, let's change it.
Okay.
You grant access to sex. If you're talking to a man and, put it like, it's very simple. You got guys in your friend zone that you've
Yeah.
never had sex with.
Yeah.
There's a reason why you've never had sex with them. Because they don't qualify for sexual relationships with you. They lack in a multitude of different areas. So they only qualify for the regular little friendship stuff. I'm telling you, and all women need to know this, that if you attract a man and you give up sex and you don't get a relationship from him, you didn't qualify for a relationship with him. Just like those guys in your friend zone don't qualify for sex. Well, if you gave up your cookie, you don't qualify for a relationship if he didn't grant it.
But that's the thing, though. I don't jump into having sex with someone right away.
Totally fine. It doesn't matter how long you wait.
Okay.
You could wait. You could have sex the first day. You could have sex, a year from now. It's all about adding value outside of sex, like we spoke about. You want to be an asset instead of a liability to that man. So also you got to have discernment, because sometimes you could just be sleeping with men and that's all they want from you. They ain't want nothing else from you anyway. So that means that you granted access sex to the wrong man.
But that's where communication jumps in, because this is one thing I always make sure when I am getting to know someone. I want to know their intentions. If you just want to have sex, okay, cool. Okay, we'll have sex, whatever. But if you're looking for a relationship, okay, cool. Then we go from there. So that's where, but for me, like, I never I don't just go and have sex with someone. I want to get to know.
I'm not saying that you don't. I'm just talking about the attraction versus the retaining and how a woman can attract. So his question was, what qualities would you change about yourself to attract a high quality man? So that's something different than retain a man, because you've expressed that, well, I've attracted millionaires. I attracted high quality men. Then my question that was besides what he talked about, I said, okay, since you attracted them, did you retain them after you gave a box?
Okay. I'm going to go back to what she was saying.
Yeah.
I can be very, a little bit, before I was a little more dominant. I don't like to be told. I didn't like to be told what to do. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So that's something that I actually have taken accountability for, and I've started to work on, because at the end of the day, I want a man that's alpha. Like, I want an alpha male. Like, I still love that feeling of being
soft
submissive.
and,
I love it.
Yeah.
I want to be submissive to a man. But that also comes down to him as well.
A good leader.
And yes, because nowadays it's like, it's kind of hard to find a man that
is a good leader,
that has those qualities.
Look what you said, find. It's hard to find because there's not many.
Yeah, there isn't many.
There isn't many.
There isn't.
So
you have to qualify for them.
Well, the thing is, the pool is different.
Like
I'll just give you some statistics. This is what, ladies, y'all got to deal with. Here's some facts real quick. Since the beginning of time, only 40% of men procreated, but 90% of women procreated. So this tells you that most of y'all sister wives and don't even know it. So most of y'all are sleeping with the same men.
That's facts, though.
Women like to say that men are more sexually active than women. That's a lie, especially in the modern day times.
Women are way more.
Only a small group of men are having sex with most women. And those are the men that are attractive to most women. Those are the higher quality men. So guess what? Here's how it goes. Real quick, I'll break it down for you.
Yeah, go ahead. So I want to get my input on that one. Go ahead.
Yep.
Sorry.
So competence leads to accomplishments, which then leads to confidence. And when you have that confidence, you have options. When you have options, you have an abundance mindset. When you have an abundance mindset, you have the ability to be intolerant of female inadequacies. So men have to work on this. Women don't operate like that. You're born with your sexual value. So you don't have to be competent. You don't have to accomplish anything. You don't have to do anything like that. And a man would still wife up a chick that's working at McDonald's, because we don't look for that from you. So on the opposite end, it doesn't work like that with a man. We have to accomplish some things and gain that genuine confidence to have some options and have the ability to say, I'm not going to date this stripper. I'm not going to date this promiscuous woman. I'm not going to date this woman that's has all this baggage and is going to put it all on me. You know why? Is because I have options. You get what I'm saying? Most men tend to just settle with things. Now, when it comes on the flip side of women, so that's the type of men that you want. You want the men that built up the competence, the accomplishments, and got that genuine confidence. But guess what? I'm telling you, they got options. And usually, you're not the first option.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. Usually the case, yeah.
Usually, that's how it runs. Anybody got anything else?
I thought we were going in order.
Oh, yeah. God dang. Okay. No, but you took accountability. Thank you for that. You said that some of the qualities that I would change in myself, that, what's the word you said? Not hardened, but you said that you were...
I was very dominant.
A little bit more dominant. Yeah. That's what we needed. So what was yours?
Well, originally I said...
Oh, you said lose 30 pounds. So lose 30 pounds.
Yeah.
You would be less dominant.
Yeah.
And what about you?
I mean, honestly, this might be weird, but if I had to change something about myself, my height.
Girl, I feel.
I see why you say that. Why do you say that?
Because men tell me all the time, like I'm my stature is intimidating. I'm a tall, very voluptuous woman, and it just men typically like smaller frame women, and they feel sometimes overpowered if you're bigger in stature. They don't feel as if they're.
I've never been short. We've never been short.
Right. But some taller men like taller women, but typically high value men want a small, petite woman.
Yeah, I don't think that is true. I don't think that they're intimidated by it. That's not because
I'm just going off the words that men have told me.
Yeah,
this is the word that they've
code.
used, that your stature is intimidating.
Yeah, they say that just to say whatever to you because they looking for something different. That's what they saying. They just using men lie all the time.
Well, and that too. Right,
yeah,
right.
men every
But
other
I'm not
word.
even talking about men that I've been involved with. Just men, like men's talking to me like, "Yo, Jazz, you just
too tall." Well, no, it makes sense because think about it. Most men, you're 5'9.5", right?
Mm-hmm.
The average height of a man is 5'8", so you're taller than most men.
That's
so,
what I'm saying.
and the thing is, do you even want a shorter man?
Not really.
Exactly. So that's where it goes. You don't even want a shorter man. So it's like
But most men are not tall. You asked me in order
That is
to.
true.
The question was if I wanted to attract a high value man, which most of them are Napoleon men.
You would have
They're
a better
short.
chance.
Yes, they're fucking Napoleon.
I agree with that
I
point.
would have a better chance.
I do agree. What about you?
I'll say emotional availability.
Emotional availability.
Yeah, like
Okay.
at this point in my life, I'm just working on a couple things, and if I want to be in a man's life, like I want a family, I want to have more children. So like now I'm working on school. Once that's done, potentially I can open my doors again.
Okay. Word. Okay. What about you?
Well,
Can you speak in the mic just a little bit for me? Thank you.
probably being more comfortable with my femininity because I have been hardened.
Soft girl era. Okay.
I have been. And so, I mean, I am big into the traditional roles and all
Yeah.
of that. So, I mean, that's my goal. It's just trying to work out of that hardened shell. That's the
Try to get trusted.
yeah.
Okay. And what about yourself?
sorry.
You're fine.
I feel like I kind of already started that because, like I said, I was on the field as an electrician.
Yeah.
And I knew it would be hard for me to find a husband working on the field just because of the nature of the field. So I actually started teaching so I can settle.
Real quick, can I have you move a little bit more
Oh, sure.
on the couch?
I'm sorry.
Just because you're not fully in the camera view, and I want them to see all of you.
Okay, no problem.
Give you some clout. Go ahead. Sorry, finish what you were saying.
Yeah, so I was saying I kind of left the field to do teaching so I can be a little bit softer because, as you could imagine, working on the field as an electrician with a bunch of men all day, I have to be
Yeah.
loud, assertive, aggressive. So I put myself in an environment where I don't have to do that on a daily. Also, I think I could be less nonchalant. I'm not dismissive, but I'm very unreactive, more so because I have taken the time to become less emotionally responsive to things. But I think in the process of doing that, I've somewhat kind of lost the emotional response altogether. And I kind of just sit back with a blank face a little bit.
Yeah.
Which kind of gives that she's not listening to me type of response. So that's where I'm at right now. Not being so, okay.
That's good. You're very reflective. I would say you have an ability to reflect on things. Just the way you broke it down, that's very good. Because I would say most women need to work on that. There's too nonchalant. And the reason, like, it's so, like, think about it. When you get with a man or you're talking to a man, like, he's a man. Make him feel like a man. You know what I mean? And men, we kind of want to be the superhero to the story. So a woman having, like, nonchalant responses and I walk into the house and she ain't smiling. She just like, oh, hey. Yeah. Like, this is not something. Like, we are working to provide you a good future. We don't want to walk into a house like, hey, okay. We want to walk into a house like, baby, give me a hug. I love you. This and this. Like, we're not as, the thing is, like, I see why women are like that because you project. So here's some game since you said that and you were reflective. I'll tell you why you've even had that reflective nature. Speak about some psychology a little bit. Women don't like thirsty behavior. You just don't like it. When it's from a man, you are disgusted by it. So since you are disgusted by a man that's doing the most and pedestalizing you, you then internally project that out. You say, well, then I'm not going to be so thirsty. I'm not going to do this because I know that I don't like it. So he's not going to like it. Attraction isn't symmetrical, it's asymmetrical. The man is attracted to that. The man doesn't get disgusted by a woman being thirsty. For example, not at all.
If he likes you, no.
No, not at all.
But I feel
Not
like
even.
when we like men know and they thirsty first, we don't get.
Depending on if you like them,
love-
though.
the love
We don't
bombers.
have
If you like
to.
them
We don't
back.
have to like the woman
The
at all.
love bombers.
So here's the example: if you got two dudes, guy A, guy B. Guy A, he hits up your DM. Hey, beautiful, how are you? He leaves it like that. 5 hours go on. You look at your DM. You see, hey, beautiful, how are you? You reply back. Guy B. Now, both of these men are equally attractive. Guy B, he says, hey, beautiful, how are you? 2 hours go by. You didn't see it. Dang, girl, you this and this. Dang, what's up? Let me, you know what I mean? Like, why you ain't answering your DM? He's still sending multiple messages. Maybe he's liking pics. 5 hours go by. When you finally look at your DMs, you're like, God dang, he sent 5 messages. He liked 30 pictures. He commented on this one. Now you got guy A and you got guy B to reply to. Well, who are you more attracted to? You're more attracted to guy A. You know why? Is because guy A, he embodies the characteristic traits of, well, he's not pandering to you and he's not all about you. He
Subtle
got things to
approach.
do in life.
I was gonna
He
say
seems
he's
more like a
busy.
masculine man. He's busy.
I like a man
Guy
that's a little busy.
B wasn't busy. He all up your butt.
for real.
When you
If
peel
pick
back
up
the
your-
layer to all of that too, the one that seems more busier has the ability to provide. You're thinking, the subconscious is thinking like, well, he's more busier, so he's more likely to provide security. The guy that's less busy and that's hitting me up all the time, you're thinking, well, what the freak is? Why am I so special? Nigga, go out there and work. What's going on? So that's the psychology of it to why that all happened. So
If I can say there's something even deeper than that.
Yes,
I was
sir.
reading this article that was talking about Google search and how a part of what made Google so strong really was when the computer and all of it was first created. And that they were really, because one of the primary uses of it in the beginning was porn, which is just a horrible thing. But what they were saying is then some scientists decided to figure out, okay, what do women search for in terms of what they're interested in sexually? And the leading things that women were looking for in their sexual interest for their fantasy lifestyle, okay, was vampires, wolfmen,
You lost me.
pirates,
that is true.
surgeons.
Twilight.
So it's like it's like the Beauty and the Beast thing, like that idea of you get a monster, you get someone that's unattainable and you tame him. That's a part of this. It's the bad guy persona. It's like you get a guy who no one could get, but you soften him. So I think that you also have to be careful that if you choose guy A, because he's driven by purpose, so he's not sending you 8 DMs. That's a killer analogy. I'm going to use that. But he hasn't sent you 5 things because he's busy. He's got stuff to do. You all want to make sure that you don't, once you get him, be like, well, why don't you call me every day? Or why aren't you about me all the time? Because if you take that hard guy and make him